College football fans love a good rivalry and at the same time detest their rivals. When Maryland and West Virginia clash, they express physical dislike for each other. Conference realignment won't interfere. Not in a border battle intensified through 50 meetings. Today, it's veteran quarterbacks. Clint Trickett throws Big 12 pride at C.J. Brown running the Big 10. If Mario Alford gets his speedy wish, he and Stephon Diggs have many happy returns as the Mountaineers tangle with the Terrapins on BTN. Maryland faithful ready to roar inside Capital One Field at Bird Stadium. It's definitely time to have some fun. BTN football presented by the United States Marine Corps. Today the Terps hit the ground running into an eagerly anticipated showdown with the West Virginia University Mountaineers. Cross-conference rivals with a score to settle. It's game week number 3 for both of these teams. Fans in College Park as well as C.J. Brown very much ready for this clash. The 51st meeting between these two. A border battle, if you will. And these are two schools that are very familiar with one another. On this, the 200th anniversary of the words created into our Star-Spangled Banner, we welcome now the mighty sound of Maryland. Francis Scott Key said it perfectly, and it is great to see you again. Along with Scott McBrien and Chuck Long, I'm Joe Beninati. You'll hear from Frank Hanrahan in just a moment. Scott, you've approached this rivalry from both sides. Describe its intensity.
Well, as you both know, I started off my career wearing a West Virginia helmet, and I ended it wearing a Maryland helmet. This was always a big game for me and my team because I felt like if we could get this win, it would give us nothing but confidence going into conference play. Not to mention, it's a border battle, which means rivalry, tradition, and bragging rights for the next season.
It's an intriguing matchup for a number of reasons, Chuck, not the least of which the tempo we expect on offense.
Well, both teams display a fast-paced, no-huddle offense that could result in a high-scoring game today, so stay tuned.
Both of you are outstanding quarterbacks in your day, so you must admire the way C.J. Brown and Clint Trickett go about their business.
Well, Clint Trickett is completing 75% of his throws, which leads the Big 12. And the most important stat for Clint, 0 interceptions. Off to a great start in his career in his year this year for West Virginia.
And C.J. Brown, you'll see a little bit of everything out of him today. He's great at running the option game. He's elusive in the pocket. He can avoid the rush. He can also pick up a first down with his speed. Also, he loves to stand tall in the pocket and deliver a strike downfield. He's an all-around solid quarterback for this Maryland football team.
Scott, when the Terps have the ball, C.J. Brown has a bunch of weapons to throw to, including these auto owners insurance impact players.
Stephon Diggs, coaches say he's as good as he wants to be. He's athletic, he's fast. Deion Long, very similar to Diggs. He's athletic, he's quick, and he's got great hands. And then Carl Joseph, the co-captain, the leader of this West Virginia secondary. What I love about him most is he can come up and make a big hit and a big play.
Chuck, the Mountaineers have their own stable of highlight makers, don't they?
Yes, Russell Shell, running back, 4.5 yards a carry, and he's good out of the backfield, catching the football. Kevin White, 19 receptions already this year, their go-to guy on offense. but Maryland has Andre Monroe inside on the defensive line that will wreak havoc today.
Let's stay in a Maryland frame of mind, Chuck. What's on the list for them in CC's Pizza keys to the game?
The #1 goal for Maryland is ball security. They had 6 turnovers last week. That will not fly today if they want to win this football game. When the ball's in their hands, secure the football. Pressure Trickett. Don't let Clint Trickett get comfortable in the pocket. If he does, it'll be a long day for that Maryland defense because he'll pick them apart. They want to pressure with 4, but they're going to have to bring 5 and 6 defenders to put pressure on Clint Trickett.
Scott, if West Virginia is to be successful, what needs to occur?
Well, West Virginia needs to have a big day out of their playmaker, number 5, Mario Alford. If I'm the coach, I want the ball in his hands early and often. The key is to get Alford the ball in space. In space is where he's dangerous. He can make a guy miss and turn a 5-yard hitch into an 80-yard touchdown call. Then on the West Virginia defense side, they need to step up and stop Maryland's option game. Maryland has yet to prove that they can establish a passing attack. But where they can hurt you is the option game. If I'm West Virginia, I load the box, I focus on stopping this option game, and I make Maryland beat them in the air.
Football fashion is something in which Maryland takes great pride. And today, Frank Hanrahan explains they've come up with something special for the occasion.
Absolutely. Modeling here the Star-Spangled Banner look for Maryland this afternoon against West Virginia. You can see it's red, white, and blue. You can see on the back it says Triumph. Everybody's got the same last name. 200 years celebrating the Star-Spangled Banner, which was written, of course, up at Fort McHenry. That's on the helmet. And the Terps hope that this new look for them today can get them a victory.
West Virginia has won the toss. They elected to receive, which means right away we'll get an eye full of Mario Alford. The kicker for the Terps, Brad Craddock, who has demonstrated a very powerful leg in the early season. Alford and Shell are the deep men for the blue-clad Mountaineers. Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium. They're all standing. It's West Virginia and Maryland on BTN. We're underway. Alford, 4 yards deep, isn't going anywhere. Another touchback for Craddock and the Terps. Head coach Dana Holgerson has all the faith in the world now in a 50-year senior from Tallahassee, Florida. His name is Clint Trickett. And fellas, the ball will not be in his hands very long. They love to play fast and move in expert fashion.
You said it best there, Joe. They want to get rid of the ball fast in their offense. Let's see if Maryland can disrupt that as the game goes.
Right away, 5 wides for Trickett on 1st and 10. Bring it for Wendell Smallwood. Smallwood's in the clear. Across midfield. Tight roping the sideline. A huge gain for West Virginia. Wendell Smallwood starts it in dramatic fashion.
A big staple in that West Virginia offense with Dana Holgerson is the wide receiver screen. Just a simple little block on the outside, and Smallwood is free.
50 yards later, West Virginia moving it again. They snap it quickly, working it for Smallwood, who's just angled, and Kevin White, so dangerous.
So dangerous is right. Kevin White, another weapon. They love to throw the screen to him. He's big, he's strong, and he can also make plays.
At a fever pitch immediately for West Virginia. Russell Shell stacked up inside. Meeting him there, Quentin Jefferson. For the Terps defensively, Maryland in the white. And in the first minute of the game, West Virginia's knocking on the door.
Those are both run-pass option plays. And the first time, the previous play, Trickett threw it. And then this play was the same play, he handed it off. Run-pass options according to the numbers in the box for Maryland.
Chuck, you watched it all day on tape yesterday, and you kept saying that. On 1st and 10. Russell Shell stopped by Ngakwe. Yannick Ngakwe getting the start with Yannick Cujo. Virgil still ailing. It's a loss of 3.
Here, just a little inside zone, and the pads were not square for West Virginia's offensive line. Great disruption by the Maryland defensive line.
2nd and long, call it 2nd and 13. Trickett to throw. Underneath there, he's got his tight end Cody Clay, who was upset In the secondary by Sean Davis.
This is where defensive coordinator Coach Brian Stewart said that Maryland really needs to improve in this red zone. This is a big third down for this Maryland defense. Try to hold West Virginia to nothing but a field goal.
Wide open to the stick route, or just a little stop route inside of the tight end. The defense was confused there when they went empty.
Coach Randy Edsall pacing on the sidelines as West Virginia not only in the red zone but the tight zone, Chuck, right off the bat in their first series.
The tight zone's inside the 10-yard line, and the game plan changes when you are in the tight zone. Not as many passing plays, and tight ends and running backs become prevalent receivers down here.
Randy Crystal is the referee today. Dana Holgerson's squad working in rhythm right off the bat. Third down. Shell angles, tiptoes between tacklers, and then gets grappled to the earth by Alex Twine. Give him 4 on the carry.
They went 2 back with the lead blocker inside the 10. You need to be able to establish a run in a tight zone, red zone. That's what West Virginia is trying to do.
First and goal out of the eye. Russell Shell met by Davis and finished off there with help from Anthony Nixon.
This is where that big offensive line for West Virginia loves it. They love the short yardage. They're going to try to pound it in here. Their offensive line averages 6'4", over 310 pounds.
Try Russell Shell again. Met in the hole, forced back. The safeties again with help from Andre Monroe, but Davis and Nixon were all around the pile.
2 ISO plays in a row with the fullback. I just don't think West Virginia is really suited for this style of offense. They want to spread it out most of the time. They tried to pound it inside. Maryland's defense is too big and strong for that.
It's third and goal here, Chuck. You don't need finesse now, right? You need that power. You need to smack somebody in the mouth if you're on that offensive line. Nearly 3 minutes in. Play action. Trickett rolls. Trickett going to keep it towards the pylon. Farron was there, and it'll be 4th and goal. Farron and Robinson combining to make sure Trickett would not get in.
Tried a tight set and then ran a bootleg off of it, off of 2 run plays, which is a good call, but Maryland's defense was ready for it. Clint's just got to bury his head quicker and try to get to that pylon a little quicker. He had it, but he hesitated too long, which allowed Maryland's defense to recover.
Well, you can tell Holgerson has made the early decision, the head coach for West Virginia, to go for it on 4th and goal.
Look for a QB sneak here, guys. 1 yard to go.
Trickett under center. Hands to Shell. Powers his way. The signal is touchdown, West Virginia. Russell Shell hits pay dirt.
Dana Holgerson's history is they will go for it on 4th down quite a bit. Good call, good play, right up the gut again. Little ISO play with your fullback lead on the edge. Pads stay low with the running back and O-line. Nice play.
John DePalma will snap. Mike Molinari will hold. Josh Lambert on for the point after touchdown try. And West Virginia is 1 for 1. Right off the bat, 3.5 minutes into the contest. Russell Shell finding a small sliver of space and landing in the end zone for Holgerson and West Virginia.
Football on BTN is presented by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. And brought to you by Go RVing. Find the RV that's right for your tailgate at GoRVing.com.
You should go RVing. The atmosphere here terrific in College Park, Maryland. A fine spot for Big Ten tailgating. West Virginia fans are having a nice time. And now the state of Maryland. A chance to touch the ball offensively after West Virginia strikes swiftly, finishing it off with a 1-yard run from Russell Shell.
Your do everything back so far showed the power and elusiveness, especially down there in the tight zone on the goal line, punching it in, keeping his pads low.
Michael Molinari to hit it for West Virginia. Stephon Diggs waiting at the goal line. Diggs sees this one bounce, and he'll stay put. A touchback. 1st and 10 for the Terps. C.J. Brown.
I think it's very important for C.J. Brown to go out there and lead. Trust his preparation. Not try to make a big play. Take what the defense gives him. And you know what? Allow the weapons around him to make the big plays. All he needs to do is execute.
Scott, we talked to him during the week. He said, I've got to trust my wide receivers. Not overthink this. Let them do the work. Starting with Albert Reed in the backfield with him. Brandon Ross was the opening day starter. Ross fumbled twice in Maryland's win over South Florida last weekend. He'll start on the bench for this one. Out of the pistol on 1st and 10. Brown to throw. No time. K.J. Dillon came flying in there off the edge along with Brandon Golson from the other side.
And that one looked like it might have been on C.J. Brown. You've got Dillon coming off the edge. C.J. Brown needs to see that. That's either a hot route, a sight adjust, get the ball out of your hands, and don't take that sack.
A loss of 4. 2nd and 14 for the Terps. And K.J. Dillon, all eyes there on the perimeter. Reed looking for a crease, nothing there. Kyle Rose, the nose guard, who played extremely well against Towson with the help from Isaiah Bruce.
This is what West Virginia wants to do. They're going to load the box. They're going to stop the run game. They're going to tell Maryland, we want you to try to beat us through the air, and that's what they're doing so far. Defensive
coordinator for the Mountaineers, Tony Gibson, very pleased with the continuity he's seen through training camp in the first couple of weeks of the season. This is 3rd and 14 for Maryland. 4 wides in the pattern. Brown steps up in the pocket. C.J. with the fast feet. Going to pick up the first down yardage and dive across the 40. 19 yards on the play.
Well, they just got out of the rush lanes. The West Virginia defense had a 4-man rush. They got out of the rush lanes, which allowed Brown to pick it up with his feet. He's dangerous out of the pocket. They have to do something about that as the game goes.
Dillon showing blitz. C.J. Brown looking over the middle, going through progressions. It's deflected, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darrell Worley.
Not sure what that pattern was offensively. Their pass pattern looked all messed up from the very beginning, which made Brown hesitate in the pocket, and then he threw it late over the middle. And Scott, you don't want to do that as a quarterback.
Not at all. And if we see a replay here, as you can see, C.J. Brown is trying to scan the field. It looked like he tried to force a ball where it was in double or triple coverage. In that situation, you either get out of the pocket and try to pick up yards with your feet, or you throw it away. You cannot throw a pick in that situation.
Great job by Christian Brown there, fellas, to deflect that pass, and Worley was the beneficiary. 1st and 10, West Virginia already on top by 7. Trickett to throw. Swings it out into the flat. Wendell Smallwood crunched by Alex Twine, who gets the start today with L.A. Gorey on the bench.
Tried a little slip screen out of the backfield, and the Maryland defense was ready for it. They sniffed it out, rallied to the football. Nice tackling. This is a good tackling defense.
2nd and 9 in plus territory. Smallwood attacked again by Twine. His confidence is growing. They want to make sure that 35 in the white is playing at the right speed as C.J. Brown tends to matters on the sidelines.
Joe, they really like Alex Twine, 6 foot, 235 pounds. The guy runs all around the field and makes nothing but plays.
3rd and 8, empty backfield for Trickett. They rush 4. Trickett flushed out, throws, connects to the target. It's Kevin White diving shy of first down yardage.
Brian Stewart, the Maryland defensive coordinator, only gave him a 4-man rush against empty, and that's going to be hard to get to Trickett. It allows him to get out of the pocket and extend the ball play for a first down. Let's see if Brian Stewart brings more than 4 as the game goes. He's going to need to bring 5 or 6 guys to put pressure on Trickett.
Guys, they're going for it again on another 4th and short. Unless they're trying to draw Maryland offside, there's a timeout taken. We will do the same. BTN College Football, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Back to College Park in a moment. Fellas, this should be a very interesting cat and mouse game all day long between Dana Holgorsen and Randy Edsall.
Especially on defense, trying to stop these fast-paced offenses. And, of course, Maryland runs some option game in their offense. We've yet to see that.
I formation, 4th and short. Russell Shell gets enough for it. He'll keep the drive going. Sean Davis, who led the Terps in tackles last year, stopped him after a gain of 2.
And that was 4-down territory, so you need to go for it there. Too long for a field goal, too short for a punt. Smart move by Dana Holgerson, head coach.
Says Clint Trickett, recognizes all the signals, knows all the progressions now, the efficiency with which this offense is working, just humming right along. Mario Alford, the sprinter, brought down by Alvin Hill, who had his first career INT last weekend. It's a gain of 1.
Just your slip screen again to the wide receiver. You're going to see plenty of those today. It allows the quarterback to get the ball out of his hand quick, and you never know when those going to break for a touchdown.
The decision maker is Trickett. He'll hand to Russell Shell. Stepping in again from the secondary, helping to make the tackle was Davis, along with Twine and Monroe. Another pickup of 1. Russell Shell, guys, is a man who looks like he can go the distance every time he touches the ball. He's checking to the outside now into a receiver role.
That's what they like so much about these backs. They're all-around backs. They can do it all. They've got great hands, and they can break one. They can get short yards. They really like the depth that they have at running back. 3rd and 8.
West Virginia won for its first 3 on 3rd down conversions. Trickett comfortably in the pocket on the crossing route for Shorts. Da'Keel Shorts. 1st down, West Virginia knocking on the door again. A pickup of 20.
Right now, Clint Trickett is nice and comfortable in that pocket. He's making good decisions, and he is throwing the ball in rhythm. The defense has to do something about that. Change it up on him.
On the play action, Trickett looking to the end zone. Juggled and out of bounds off the hands of Kevin White, who's made so many catches already in the early going this season.
There's that drop that surfaced at Alabama as well. In that Alabama game, they had a chance to beat him if they didn't drop the ball. Had a chance in his hands. Got to come down with that.
Inside the red zone, Maryland wants Hill on White. For the height considerations, Shell driving his way, moves the pack. Bowers is the last man off the pile.
And here's what Dana Holgerson was talking about earlier on in the week about Kevin White. He needs to get in the end zone more and often throughout the rest of this season, and that was a chance for him to go up and make a play and to get 6 points for this West Virginia offense.
Alvin Hill directing traffic. Clint Trickett just the same. 3rd down and 7. Trickett to throw. Caught by Alford. He lost the football. Farrand has it for Maryland. Cole Farrand with a fumble recovery.
There's that ball security we're talking about. This time it's West Virginia having a problem with ball security. When you catch that ball, look at it all the way in, the point of the football all the way to your chest.
West Virginia denied this time a 7-0 advantage. More to come on BTN.
Post-game show immediately after the game, only on BTN.
Cole Farrand, who forced a fumble a season ago against West Virginia in a lopsided Maryland win. This time he recovers a fumble forced by William Likely, and Maryland staves off another drive for West Virginia. Russell Shell, a 1-yard run. A botched play in the backfield here. C.J. Brown was running for cover. Noble Wachuku brought him down.
This is what offensive coordinator Coach Mike Loxley does not want to see. This is what he talked about earlier in the week, the mental mistakes. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't have mental mistakes, or else you end up with another 2nd and long.
2nd and 11 to be specific. C.J. Brown repositioning his tight end, Andrew Isaacs, who's detached from the line. Dump it out in the flat, Albert Reed. Reed carving his way. 1st down pickup for the Terps. Nick Kwiatkowski, another playmaker for West Virginia in the linebacking core with a stop after the gain of 11.
They went to an easy swing against man coverage, and the corner was not out there, so it was an easy completion and gain for Maryland.
Brown under center. gives straight ahead for Albert Reed. Very talkative, always has energy, and getting the start today from head coach Randy Edsall.
Trying to go fast here. Now, the bread and butter in their offense is the option game, Scott. We have not seen it yet out of C.J. Brown.
Offensive coordinator Mike Locksley said he wanted to do some things to keep West Virginia off balance. Speed option, quarterback keeps. See if Brown, who holds a rushing record in a single season for Maryland, will go here. Working down that line of scrimmage, and Kwiatkowski put a bear hug on him with help from Dontrell Hyman.
Well, you called it, Chuck, and I think this is what Maryland does so well. C.J. Brown running the option game. He's great at running this option attack and picking up yards with his feet. If they can really get this part of their offense going, they can be dangerous. We'll see how long they stick with it.
3rd and 7 for C.J. Brown and the white jersey Terrapins. These uniforms in honor of the Star-Spangled Spectacular that's going on, the 200th anniversary. Brown fires on the money. Hits his intended target, Dion Long.
West Virginia had a blitz from the edge. It was not picked up, and Brown took a shot in the pocket. You know about these, Scott. Wow. Took a shot, kept his concentration down the field. Nice job in the pocket, showing toughness by C.J. Brown.
Brown, a week ago, felt his play improve throwing the ball. He was 17 for 28 against South Florida in a come-from-behind win. Terps will stay on the ground. Reed bounced down to the turf, and back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago for a T-Mobile studio update.
Hey, Joe, Rick Pizzo here in studio. Great start for J.T. Barrett. 8 of 9 for 87 yards and a couple scores. Buckeyes on top of Kent State, 14-0.
Rick, Ohio State has won 38 straight games against in-state competition. Not expected to have a difficult time with Kent State. C.J. Brown flares one for Albert Reed. Reed skipping through tacklers. Dragged down by the defensive end, Wanchuku. Not before he picks up a first down and a gain of 8.
Reed did a nice job on this little slip screen out of the backfield. Easy completion for Brown. Did a nice job of waiting for his blockers to come out and set that play up.
Quick. Brown going deep and overshooting his target, Malcolm Culmer, who was wide open.
Wide open is right, Joe, and this is what C.J. Brown has really wanted to work on. He hasn't been able to hit these open receivers in the first 2 weeks. This is what offensive coordinator Coach Mike Locksley said he needed to do. Find his open targets, relax, play catch. Get him the ball in space, allow him the chance to go up and make a play.
Coaches are saying sometimes C.J. tries too hard.
Exactly.
Out of the pistol here on 2nd and 10. With play action, throw is high. Drayvon Henry was there to keep an eye on Marcus Leak, who had a pair of touchdowns last week.
And I was impressed with Leak last week, the way he was catching the ball and running after the catch. Again, he's got to make that play. It's a little high on the throw, but concentrate and make the play. It's just a concentration problem. Concentrate on the point of the football coming in. Catch the ball first. Nice play call. Right
back to the line of scrimmage, Chuck. C.J. Brown, 50% so far in this opening quarter. Now 12 minutes old. Out of the gun. Steps away from the pressure. Rifles this one for Dion Long. Attacked there by Terrell Chestnut. Limiting that to just a 2-yard gain.
Nice 4-man rush by West Virginia. But Brown sidestepped it nicely in the pocket, kept his poise, and delivered the ball down the field, but it's too short for a first down.
Yeah, it was a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, Chuck, but I almost thought that he might have been able to tuck the ball and run and pick up that first down with his feet.
Jordan Thompson, number 10 in the blue, nicknamed Squirt by his teammates, weighs all of 165 pounds, but oh, can he fly. Renfro to punt it for Maryland. A good kick. Soaring towards the end zone, takes an unfriendly bounce for Maryland. It's a touchback. West Virginia on the lead. They have a 7-0 advantage in College Park on BTN. isn't going to bother Testudo. It hasn't bothered Clint Trickett, who's 8 for 9 throwing the ball for the Mountaineers. Spins this one on target for a diving and sliding Kevin White.
Just a play action pass with a heavy set inside of two tight ends. And a comeback throw, Scott. I don't see many comeback throws in college football anymore. 15 yards to the sideline. Love to see that comeback.
1st and 10 for Trickett. With an empty backfield. Well protected. Finds White again. His catch total continues to climb. West Virginia and Maryland since 2004, guys. Aside from last season, West Virginia's been dominant.
Yeah, they really have. West Virginia has had Maryland's number over the past couple years. It used to be the other way around back when I was playing. Now it's flipped.
It was a rainy day last year in Baltimore, and West Virginia coughed it up 6 times. Russell Shell bouncing off of tacklers, dragged down by Twine. There's a flag that flies in late. Referee today is Randy Crystal.
Holding. Offense. Number 11. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Now he has his hands inside, which is good, but then he puts the hand right on the back right there. And the referees, once they see the hand on the back and pulling, it's an easy call. Got to keep those hands inside and have discipline to do that.
Yeah, once you see the jersey go up over the shoulder pads, you know that's a hold.
Wrestling there with William Likely, the fine corner for Maryland. Out of the gun, Trickett to throw. Over the middle, and a diving Kevin White reels that in. 1st down indeed for the Mountaineers after the pickup of 12.
Defensive coordinator Brian Stewart brought some blitz there. He knows he's going to have a hard time getting to the quarterback, getting to Trickett with just rushing 4. He brought 6 there, but they still found a crease in there for a big completion.
Chuck and Scott, you're always talking to me about blitzes hitting home. It's 1st and 10 with Russell Shell hiding behind the offensive line, bouncing this one back out and running over tacklers. Matt Robinson, the converted safety to linebacker, finished him off. Another 12 yards on the ground for Shell.
Well, Russell Shell showing great patience in the run game. What I mean by that, he had nothing front side. The inside zone goes from tackle to tackle. He had nothing front side, so he showed patience and got to the backside crease and found it. Showing great patience in the run game right now by Russell Shell.
A worrisome sign for Maryland, guys, with Matt Robinson, a man who's had injuries to his shoulder and groin muscle flare up in the past. Matt is slow to get back to his feet. West Virginia has the advantage by 7 over Randy Edsall in College Park. For those unaware, you might be thinking, gosh, there's a lot of triumphs on Maryland today. 40 in the white is Matt Robinson. Triumph on that star-spangled spectacular jersey. They chose Triumph, guys, because that and Conquer We Must, which was on their warm-up shirts, they were in the original poem penned by Francis Scott Key, but did not end up in the final lyrics of the national anthem, the 200th anniversary of the anthem today. 1st and 10. Trickett on play action. Deep ball. Downfield. Alford. He's got it. Touchdown, Mountaineers. A 43-yard lightning bolt.
West Virginia went to a 2-back set, which has been about 100% run. Had heavy play action. Just a quick post right over the top of the safety of Sean Davis. I think Davis just bit on the run, which allowed Alford to get behind him. Easy post route for a touchdown.
That's what we talked about in the pregame. Mario Alford, their playmaker, he had to have a big day for West Virginia to be successful. Great route and a heck of a catch.
Josh Lambert, the redshirt sophomore from Texas, tacks on the extra point. West Virginia has a 14-0 advantage, 200 miles from home for Dana Holgerson.
Again, an easy play action, and Davis just got caught. Don't watch the ball as a safety. Run to the receiver and then look up to the ball. Once you get behind that safety a couple of steps, if you have a good throw like Trickett did, easy completion for a touchdown. Don't get beat deep on the post.
Well, it looked like, Chuck, that they were playing cover 4 up top, which meant the safety and the corner were both flat-footed about 10 to 12 yards. That allowed Alford to run right by him on the post route and go in for 6 points.
Mario Alford cooling off on the sideline. We're about 32 miles from Baltimore, Maryland, where they are really having a star-spangled spectacular at the Inner Harbor. The 200th birthday for our national anthem. Lyrics taken from the original poem, The Defense of Fort McHenry. Adopted as our national anthem, 1931. The Maryland uniforms, a tribute, paying homage to our national anthem. And the coolest thing, the captains of the Maryland team today are wearing the red belts as the military captains did during that battle 200 years ago in the War of 1812. Stephon Diggs chatting all the way back to the sideline. His return is 22 yards, and now Maryland, fellas, has to find some rhythm. They need to put some points on the board.
They do, and I think the key here, guys, is to really get the ball out of C.J. Brown's hands quick. Throw some quick screens, throw some hitches, maybe throw a slant, and then end up throwing the ball downfield. I think this will give C.J. Brown a little bit more confidence throughout the rest of the game.
They've been working from behind the chains the whole game. They need to stay ahead of the chains in manageable down and distance situations.
Final seconds of the opening quarter. Blitz coming. C.J. Brown snaps this one. Makes his connection. Dion Long, number 6, picks up 6.
And that's, sorry, Joe, that's what we were talking about earlier. C.J. Brown getting the ball out of his hands quick.
BTN football presented by the United States Marine Corps. Testudo and the Terps trailing on home turf. West Virginia right out of the chute and right onto the scoreboard. Mountaineers in charge on BTN.
BTN football and beyond. Weeknights on BTN.
West Virginia don't like Maryland. Maryland don't like West Virginia for whatever reason. But when you get on the field, it's all about competing, no matter what team it is, who's on the field. I mean, rivalry or not, I'm gonna give my best effort, no matter what team's on the field. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit more when you play certain teams. You feel it more, the anxiety, the anxiousness, and it's always a good game when we play West Virginia.
Those the words of Stephon Diggs. He and his Maryland mates held in check through the opening quarter, and now the early stages of the second frame. C.J. Brown trying to get this Maryland offense on track.
It's a big drive for Maryland. A 3-and-out here will not bode well, being down 14 already. Need to convert this third down.
3rd down and 4, Chuck. Brown to throw. Perfectly finding that seam and connecting with Dion Long, his dependable wideout. A pickup of 19 on the play.
And that was a confident throw out of C.J. Brown, standing tall in the pocket, delivering a strike in between the safety and the corner on a line. That's what they want to see out of him.
I'm surrounded by 2 pretty good quarterbacks up here in the booth. They had to appreciate the window in which he fit that ball. To throw again, off the hands of Long, and this one falls incomplete. Almost another pick for Darrell Worley. Fellas, we look at the first quarter numbers as they have played out today.
Well, look at the total yards for West Virginia already, 204, and look at the yards per play, 7.8. Maryland's going to have to do something a little bit different defensively as the game goes.
The opening drive for West Virginia featuring a big play from Wendell Smallwood that went for 50 yards, helping to add to those totals. On 2nd and 10, the fly sweep for Stephon Diggs. Diggs bounced off of one tackler, finished off by Drayvon Henry.
Just a little fly sweep or reverse from the wide receiver. You see the quarterback just kind of pass it to him. There's a reason for that. They want the passing yardage.
Yeah, you would say that as a quarterback, wouldn't you? Well, that's a handoff, isn't it? No, that's a pass. It went forward. It's a pass. Sure. And then when you can give it to someone like Stephon Diggs, you can get 50 in a hurry. 3rd and short. C.J. Brown finds the open man there. connecting with Marcus Leak. Powerfully built, rugged, wide out, first down Terps.
Going back to that same play, just on the short side of the field, C.J. Brown's reading the corner. The corner sat for the flat. C.J. Brown fit in the seam route up the sideline.
Offensive coordinator Loxley says Leak reminds him of Aurelius Ben, who he had at the University of Illinois, recently let go by the Philadelphia Eagles. Pounding to the outside, Brandon Ross gets his first touch. Ross, who fumbled twice in the win against South Florida, gains 3. Kwiatkowski there to keep him quiet.
That was a designed shovel screen play. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. There's a little replay for it, where he blocks the end, a little block, and then turn for the shovel screen with blockers down the field. West Virginia wasn't fooled too much on it, but this is a drive that Maryland needs right now, Scott, to stay in this game.
Terps backed up by the holding penalty. Randy Edsall with a discouraged look on his face. Terps trailing by 2 touchdowns. Shell a 1-yard run. Alford a 43-yard connection with Clint Trickett. 1st and 20 out of the pistol. Brown had that one batted down, deflected by Wachuku.
West Virginia's bringing a blitz, an internal blitz, right inside the defensive end. And Maryland did not pick this one up. The running back, Ross, has to pick that up. He has to see that and blocks and get the hands down of the defenders so Brown can make the throw.
Wachuku, the redshirt sophomore from Wiley, Texas, had his first career sack last year against TCU. Big 12 West Virginia in control against Big 10 Maryland today from College Park. Brown with time. This falls incomplete. Dion Long, the man he was looking for. Brandon Goldson can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, number 2 in blue.
And I think pressure definitely got to C.J. Brown standing tall in the pocket. You got man-to-man coverage. That's exactly what you want as a quarterback. You say, hey, my guys are going to beat your guys. And right there, Dion Long beat his man on a crossing route. C.J. Brown's got to stay confident, stay calm, and deliver a strike.
They're 4 for 5 on 3rd down conversions for Coach Edsall. This, however, 3rd and 20.
They're going to drop 8 here. Rush 3 and drop 8.
They listen to you. Into the flat. Complete to Brandon Ross, lowering the shoulder, and then nudged out of bounds gently by Chestnut. And Shaq Petaway.
That's a good defensive call. You drop 8, make Brown throw it underneath. You're not going to get enough yards for the first down. Good job defensively and making him dump it.
And to rebuttal on that, Chuck, good job by C.J. Brown taking what the defense gives you. You're not going to pick it up. Let's get as many yards as we can, and let's try to kick the field goal.
Michael Tart will hold for Brad Craddock, who hit from 49 here against James Madison. This one's from 46 on the way, and good. Craddock, such a valuable weapon for the Terrapins, trims the West Virginia lead. It's 14-3 Mountaineers on Big Ten Network. Maryland gets 3 points. Randy Edsall, along with receivers coach Keenan McCardell, pleased with the work that they saw on that last trip.
Yeah, Keenan McCardell, just an all-around great coach, had a heck of a career in the NFL. You see his stats right here. He's got this receiving corps really buying into his coaching technique, into his system. All these guys really look up to him and really want to listen to what he has to say.
I think he knows some technique about receiving.
Absolutely. He's been there, done that a handful of times.
He worked his tail off to develop his game, and that means a lot in the meeting rooms for the wideouts. Russell Shell returning this kickoff. Shell gets to the outside, forced out of bounds by the kicker, Craddock. There's a flag down.
Might be a late hit on Craddock. Have to wait and see what they call. Kickers always want to get into the action.
Our referee, Randy Crystal.
Personal foul on the kicking team. Unnecessary roughness, hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Didn't look like much, Chuck.
Right there late. he was already out of bounds. You just have to hold off. Show your hands to the referee.
Can't make those mental mistakes.
They flagged Elvis Denna for unsportsmanlike. Trick it with a short field. Going deep. Looking for Mario Alford. Running there in coverage was William Likely.
Nice coverage by Likely there.
Guys, let's go back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago. A T-Mobile studio update on Indiana and Bowling Green.
Thanks, Joe. The Hoosiers offense having its way against the Falcons. Nate Sudfeld to Jay Shun Harris II, 14 yards. Sudfeld well over 100 yards on the day. Hoosiers lead at 14-3.
The true freshman from Bishop.
Rick, Indiana had the early bye week last weekend. Such an incredible ground attack in their opener against Indiana State. As we enjoy Big Ten versus Big 12, Wendell Smallwood pinballing off of tacklers. A good pickup there, a gain of 5.
Head coach Dana Holgerson showing some patience now, calling some run game, and he has a lot of run game in his history. He likes balance.
Trick it out of the gun. Kevin White on the wide receiver screen in wide open room. White's on his way to the house. Touchdown, Kevin White. 44 yards on the sprint.
There's your wide receiver screen again with linemen pulling out of the box to block on the edge. All it takes is one block to spring it. And White took it all the way. Here it is right there. Here's your block. Here's a lineman pulling out. White finds a crease, does the rest himself. Touchdown, and that was big. And not so good for the Maryland defense after they had a nice drive of their own to give up another drive like that.
Josh Lambert on for the extra point try. It's perfect. West Virginia has a 21-3 cushion with which to work. Kevin White, coach says he wants me in the end zone more. I'll show him.
Farm post-game show immediately after the game, only on BTN.
Head coach Dana Holgerson for West Virginia said, this year we should be able to finish better. They have been putting the football into the end zone today with regularity.
They weren't finishing games last year, like you said, Joe. They're finishing better this year. That Alabama loss, even though it was a loss, gave them some confidence going into this game.
Plenty of cheers so far for Kevin White. Molinari hammers this one end over end. Stephon Diggs, 2 yards deep, is going to kneel. 21-3. Morgantown, West Virginia, College Park, Maryland. They're separated by about 200 miles. And fellas, through the years, we've enjoyed some real beauties in this border battle.
Yeah, this game goes back to a long time ago. These two great teams, they travel well. There's been some great games, and I was fortunate enough to play in 3 of those games. I was 3-0. I wish I could have played the Mountaineers every week.
You know what's interesting? You started your career in West Virginia. You finished it with Maryland, so you know both sides of this rivalry, Scott McBrien.
I've worn both helmets, and I had great times at both schools, and I was fortunate enough to play against my old team in the final game of my college career in the Gator Bowl.
Now you're being humble and modest. You had a pretty good game in that one, too. C.J. Brown to throw. Pressure coming off the edge from Wachuku. Dump it off for Brandon Ross. Ross met by a couple of tacklers, shy of first down yardage. Frank Hanrahan is on the sideline. Frank, Maryland has some catching up to do.
Yeah, I'm no expert at body language, Joe, but a lot of hunched shoulders, a lot of shaking of the heads after White took it to the house. They're frustrated right now, a little bit bewildered. They still got plenty of time, but they got to get their act together and get it together soon.
Frank Randy Edsel said this game would be one up front as C.J. Brown keeps the ball from his quarterback spot, gets the first down pickup after the gain of 6. Kwiatkowski made the tackle.
And Chuck, that's what you were talking about. Let's see if Maryland can get into this read option type offense. That's what C.J. Brown does so well. He can pick up yards with his feet.
Brown's numbers at the top of the screen. To throw again. Too tall for Isaacs and just away from a diving man in the secondary. Oh, so close to another pickpocket there for Drayvon Henry.
And as we stand up here in the booth, I'm looking across the stadium and I see the rain coming down. I'm wondering if this rain might have an effect on C.J. Brown and the way he's throwing the football right here. Just throws it a little too high for Andrew Isaacs. He needs to get the ball down, needs to put the ball in between the numbers.
C.J. Brown out of the shotgun. Quick sets and fires a wobbly ball on target for Stephon Diggs. Knifing into the secondary. You guys are quarterbacks. He's wearing a glove on his right hand today.
Just trying to get that grip. I've never worn a glove, Scott. Did you ever wear a glove?
I never wore a glove, but they say they like it because they're able to get more grip on the ball in any kind of weather.
1st and 10 for the Terps. The inside shovel. Making people miss. Working to the outside. Big Brandon Ross stepped out of bounds. Ross stepped out of bounds at the West Virginia 38.
Love the patience that they're showing on offense right now. They're not panicking. Here's a little shovel play. Lineman blocks for a few seconds. The back blocks briefly, then turns, catches the ball, then makes some people miss. Gets to the outside where there's less defenders.
Ross made his Maryland debut against West Virginia a couple seasons ago. 1st and 10 Terps, trailing 21-3 on home turf. Brown looking things over. Steps out of the pocket. He'll keep it and slide to safety.
This is what we're talking about. C.J. Brown able to avoid the rush. However, they only rushed 3 and they dropped 8. He was still able to make a play, keep his eyes downfield, see that there was a hole, and he was able to pick up a good chunk of yards on 1st down.
That's Scott McBrien. Chuck Long up in the booth as well. Joe Beninati with you. Frank Hanrahan on the sideline as we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew on BTN. Ross hits the hole. Brandon Ross undercut there. Trayvon Henry, the true freshman, one of the most highly sought after recruits out of the state of Pennsylvania, with a tackle.
Here's Ross. Nice little pistol play. Just right up the middle. They like Ross, right, Scott? Except for the turnovers last week, they like to keep him in the game.
1st and 10, almost 6 minutes deep in the second quarter. There's a flag down before the play began.
Ball start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
It's against Michael Dunn. 2nd-year starter here for Randy Edsall, but a guy, big number 76 in the white, who really didn't start in high school ball until his senior year.
Michael Dunn has really come a long way. 6'5", 300-pounder, has really earned his spot at left tackle.
1st and 15. Brown on the screen for Brandon Ross. Ross weaves away through traffic. Stopped there. Darrell Worley helping out on the tackle. Ross is feeling it, and he knows he's got something to prove.
Great job by Ross there, because West Virginia had that one tackled, and he just he was patient, let the block get out in front, and made a play.
Brown put some heat on that. Misfiring for Stephon Diggs. Stephon wanted a flag. The linebacker Muldrow was there on Diggs. That's an interesting and difficult assignment.
Well, West Virginia went man here, and all the linemen are cutting, so the ball's got to come out quick. Just a slant route. Looked like good defensive technique.
Stephon Diggs wanted the flag, but I think that's a good no call right there. Great coverage.
We heard that K.J. Dillon would see Stephon Diggs from time to time today, and he was right there to blanket. 3rd down conversion numbers top of the screens. With whistles blaring out, a timeout call for by West Virginia. Back to College Park right after this.
What Duluth Trading Wild Boar Mocks feel like. What Duluth Trading Wild Boar Mocks grip like. Duluth Wild Boar Mocks with no slip grip. Comfy like a fuzzy bunny. Grippy like a big bad boar. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Listen up, folks. Ever wonder what that old piece of Big Ten memorabilia is worth? Follow expert John Arcand as he hits the road, traveling the country in search of the most exceptional Big Ten collectibles around. It's the premiere of Big Ten Treasure Hunter, Tuesday night, 8 Eastern on BTN. The pot of gold for Maryland would be to get into the end zone here. The Terps trailing 21-3. If you're just jumping on board with us, West Virginia a 14-0 advantage after 15 minutes. Brad Craddock knifed into that lead for Maryland with a 46-yard field goal, but Kevin White from 44 yards out. It's 21-3 as we look at the review for C.J. Brown.
He is starting to heat it up a little bit. Let's see if they go 2 plays to get the 1st down here, Scott. and try to get in for the touchdown instead of settle for the field goal.
3rd and 9. Mountaineers showing blitz. Brown throws it short of his target, Dion Long.
I think the way Brad Craddock has been kicking, he's been putting the ball through the uprights lately. I think you got to settle for a field goal here. That was almost they wanted a touchdown there. However, you've got to keep momentum. You've got to keep putting points on the board. You need to settle for a field goal here in a 4th and long.
Craddock had 3 field goals against West Virginia in that 37-0 win last year. One of them was from 52. This will be a 41-yard try. Christian Carpenter to snap. Craddock hits it, and it's right down the chute. 21-6 now for West Virginia. Randy Edsall's squad gets back on the board. We'll return to College Park after this. Star-spangled uniforms for Maryland today, commemorating the 200th anniversary of our national anthem. It's 21-6 for West Virginia. Sal Conaboy is today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game, fellas, from a big family, a family of 8 kids. And Big Sal has been C.J. Brown's roommate for 3 years.
He has, and the center and quarterback, they mesh together. They've got to be the leaders on the field, and they do a great job working together.
Mario Alford from the goal line. He had a 100-yard kickoff return against Alabama. He's looking for a running lane. And Maryland has him fenced in. Savon Walker will get credit for the special teams tackle. The return just 11 yards. And Clint Trickett, who has had himself a day in the accuracy department, is set to come off the sidelines.
And this is a big defensive series for Maryland. West Virginia's been hitting big plays on them so far. Too many of them. Let's see what they do defensively, see if they have any change up, and bring some more blitz on Clint Trickett.
They put 54 points on Towson last week, the most points they've had in any game, even more than any game last year.
Showing blitz.
And bringing it. Trickett with time, going deep downfield, and it's incomplete. Likely was running there with White. Fans of West Virginia wanting an interference call.
Here's the problem: when you show blitz, you load up the box and you bring pressure, you're left with man-to-man coverage, and that's what Clint Trickett wants. He can't wait to get up to the line of scrimmage and see man-to-man coverage. However, Will Likely does a great job covering Kevin White. Crowd wanted a flag. I think it was great coverage.
Out of the gun on 2nd and 10, Russell Shell speeds into the second level. Russell Shell with a good gainer. Dragged out of bounds by Farrand. With help from Nixon, it's 22 yards rushing for Russell Shell.
Outside zone play, and all he's looking for is crease. All the defensive linemen got bottled up on the inside, which made it easy for Shell to get the outside for a nice gain.
He doesn't look like he's the kind of guy who suffered through asthma until he was 13. Runs so fluidly and angry at times. Trickett snaps to Alford. That was nearly batted down. Alvin Hill there to wrap up on the speedy receiver.
This defensive secondary will be tested. Obviously, they've been tested so far. They're a good tackling secondary, one of the best I've seen on tape this year.
Trickett, hands to Shell. Coming from the blind side was Jesse Bonham, the true freshman. Shell gets 3. Chuck Long, you said you used to coordinate and call this offense. Does it look similar to what you used to call?
Very similar, and there's not a lot of plays. It's 5 or 6 pass plays, and they do it over and over and from different formations, and only about 3 run plays.
Critical 3rd and 5 here. Trickett scans, finds the open man. It's White into Maryland territory. Kevin White fighting now through the tacklers as Maryland will gang up on him. 17 yards for White. First down, Mountaineers.
This is what happens when you give a guy like Clint Trickett enough time to make his reads, go through his progression, be confident in the pocket. He ends up going through his progression and finding Kevin White sitting down in the zone, finding that open area.
Mountaineers move the chains. Trickett checking with the sideline, then with his offensive line. So much smarter this year with the play calling is Clint Trickett. Russell Shell weaving his way near first down yardage. Farrand, who's been playing banged up for Maryland, makes the tackle.
I love what Shell is doing right now. He is so patient. He has great vision right now from tackle to tackle, finding that crease.
It's a picture book on the sideline there for West Virginia. Trickett launching this one deep. Alford gets free. Touchdown! Mario Alford, second on the day.
Just a fast ball play, no huddle. Let's go fast and throw up the fade route. One-on-one on the outside. And there's nobody in the country that does it better with fade routes than West Virginia. They work on it all the time in practice, more so than any other pass play. Alford comes down, just fights for the ball and gets the ball. Not a great throw over the top, just threw it up there so he can make a play.
Alford had an acrobatic touchdown catch last week against Towson at home. He's got 2 today, one from 43, one from 36. Lambert tacks on the extra point. West Virginia's having a great time in College Park. This ball lands in the arms of number 5 Blue. West Virginia rolling on BTN. Coming up later today, Devin Gardner and the Wolverines welcoming Miami University to the Big House. Michigan looks to bounce back at home. Coverage starts 3:30 Eastern. Presented by John Deere on BTN and BTN to go. Michigan throttled by Notre Dame last week after they put 52 points up on the board against Appalachian State. See which team shows up today in the maize and blue. Clint Trickett, brilliant in the first quarter, and it's continued, guys, all the way through the tail end of this first half.
I have never had a rating like that, Scott. He is red hot.
You
right
and me
now.
both. He's feeling comfortable and confident back there in the pocket.
That was sort of sky high, huh? Terps need to create some magic now. Jaquil Vay on the return. Vay brings it to the 23-yard line, 13 yards on the return. Clint Trickett and West Virginia striking once again with Mario Alford.
It's just a fake throw. Throw it up. May the best man win. Alvin Hill has a chance to get it out, knock it down, and be physical as a cornerback, but Alford just wanted it more.
Yeah, and Alvin Hill, they like how lengthy he is. He's 5'11", 195 pounds. Mario Alford is only 5'8". Alvin Hill's got to go up and deflect that and make a play on the ball. And right there, he certainly didn't do that.
West Virginia in command. Just over 6 minutes separating us from the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Stanley Jackson, Sean Merriman. Speaking of former great Terps, C.J. Brown wide open. Stephon Diggs in the clear. Diggs angling to the end zone. Touchdown, Maryland. 77 yards.
Chuck, this is exactly what you and I were talking about over the break. Maryland needed a touchdown. They couldn't settle for a field goal with this possession. It shows a lot about how they answer on top of an answer. Right here, it looked like a breaking coverage. C.J. Brown steps up, finds Stephon Diggs in the open running a post route, and from there, he is not going to be caught.
Craddock on for the extra point. And it's perfect. It's 28-13. Stephon Diggs, guys, in his career, 10 career TDs, 6 of them are better than 40 or more yards, including this one.
Well, those safeties for West Virginia just split wide to the sideline for some reason, which allowed that pass play to happen right down the middle. That's easy pickings. You don't want to miss that one, Scott. And they did, and as you said, they needed that touchdown.
Not at all, and I think the best part about it was C.J. Brown did not overthrow this ball. Throw it up, put air under the ball, allow your playmaker to go up and make a play. Right here, Stephon Diggs just sees the hole in the defense, sees the safety split, and runs that post route into the middle of the field. C.J. Brown did a great job putting the ball exactly where it needed to be, allowing Stephon Diggs to make the play.
Big for Maryland because the game was getting away from them, and they came back with a big play, which they needed.
With C.J. on the phone and the mighty sound of Maryland picking up, you can tell the precipitation has increased. The rain is coming down. It's been drizzling most of the day. here in College Park, Maryland. The 51st meeting between West Virginia and Maryland, being led by the guys in blue. Morgantown, West Virginia, about 200 miles away. Will the momentum shift? Alford is not coming out of the end zone. 28-13 here as we send you back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago for a T-Mobile studio update.
Joe, Ohio State all over Kent State. J.T. Bear to Michael Thomas, 63 yards, second touchdown of the day between these two. It is all Buckeyes, 31-zip at the Horseshoe.
Rick, it sure sounds like J.T. Barrett has responded and rallying after that setback to Virginia Tech last weekend. They were better than 107,000 at the Shoe last weekend. Maryland faithful in full throat now. Trickett to the flat for Smallwood. Smallwood has first down yardage, finessed around Farrand, and then was forced out of bounds by Darius Kilgo. That's the nose guard coming back to help make the tackle.
Great job with the screen pass play when the crowd's getting into it. They quiet the crowd all of a sudden with Lyman out in front. This duo of Shell and Smallwood, dynamic.
I'll say. Tackle made there by Roman Braglio along with Quentin Jefferson. Randy Edsall told us, guys, that he would rotate all 6 of his defensive linemen. Trickett's numbers are eye-popping in the first half. 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Sprints up. Fires for shorts. Deflected down by Sean Davis, the ringleader in the secondary for Maryland.
Only a 4-man rush there, which allowed Trickett to get out of the pocket and extend the play. One of the best defensive plays they've had all game with a pass broken up here. Good technique. Get that ball out.
Listen to this crowd. They're trying to pump up the crowd from the sideline. 3rd and 10. Kevin White diving into 2 tacklers very close to first down yardage. Alvin Hill will get credit for a tackle. Kevin White's catch totals remarkable through 3 games.
I love that. That's good coaching, good receiving coaching. He had nowhere to go, so he split the 2 defenders to get it a 4th and short. Here they go. Dana Holgerson loves to go for it on 4th down.
Chuck, they were on the field. They went for it twice in the opening quarter. They're going again. Movement in the interior line, but no flag as Trickett changes the play in protection. He'll keep it off the edge. Ngakwe, Braglio. There's a flag down. Dana Holgerson fired up on the West Virginia sideline. There were plenty of guys jumping around before the snap.
Offside. Defense. Number 97. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ouch if you're a Maryland fan.
Yeah. And this is what you do not want to see if you're a head coach at any level. 4th and short, and you jump off sides and you give West Virginia a gift for a first down.
Coach Edsall refers to Darius Kilgo as his thumper. The powerful nose tackle was trying to get the jump on the timing of the play there. He gives West Virginia the first down. Shell taken around the ankles by Sean Davis. It's a gain of 1.
Maryland went to a man-to-man defense there to put an extra safety in the box because West Virginia is rushing the football too much and too well.
With a Terp down in need of attention. We'll step away, get you back to College Park in a second. Of that remarkable game, Maryland's inaugural season in the Big Ten. We are at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium. Quentin Jefferson was the big man in need of assistance, taken off the field and walking his way towards the bench. Quentin, all grown up now, a family man. He has twins. I guess your perspective in life changes when you're up at 4 a.m., doesn't it, Scott?
It sure does. I know exactly how he feels.
And Chuck, father of 5.
We went through that a long time ago.
Chuck's giving me advice.
2nd down and 9. Trickett to throw. To the flat for Wendell Smallwood. Accelerates out of bounds. He'll be 5 yards short, it appears, of a first down for West Virginia as this first half grows late.
The great thing about these running backs for West Virginia in the passing game, if there's nothing down the field, just dump it off to them. They're going to get you some yards just because they're so shifty.
They've got great hands. They run great routes. They can make a guy miss in space and pick up a first down with their feet.
3rd and 5. Plenty of thunder in the stands supporting Maryland. This ball's intercepted. Picked off by William Likely.
And that's the play that Maryland needed on defense to spark them. Trickett was late to the curl route inside. And that's what Dana Holgerson's saying right now. You're too late inside. You have to hit that one on rhythm, Scott, as you know, on an inside throw to the curl. He's a little bit late. Allowed the interception.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe the rain might have had a little bit of an effect on that ball. As you see, it comes out a little bit wobbly, and he throws it late. Will Likely does a great job reading the eyes of the quarterback, stepping in front of Kevin White, and picking off that pass. That's exactly what we were talking about. That's the play that Maryland's defense needed.
Diminutive corner had his first pick last year against Syracuse. Brandon Ross twirls away from a tackler and then was swallowed up by Kwiatkowski.
Brown was looking to throw it outside on a run-pass option. Did not like it. Handed it off at the last second there.
We've called Kwiatkowski's name quite a bit. We were told that Wes Tonkery was a game-time decision. We have not seen much of, if at all, number 37 today in blue. A flag down.
Ball start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
These are just drive killers. It drives coaches crazy, the pre-snap penalties. Coaches can live with penalties in the middle of a play, but not pre-snap.
Silvano Altamirano drew the ire of the coaches last week. Didn't play at his best in the win over South Florida. 2nd and 16 for C.J. Brown. Pump fake. On the go route, it's Leak. Good coverage by Chestnut.
And West Virginia dropped 8 in coverage there, so they had the right call on. Now Maryland's in a 3rd and extra long, not where they want to be.
And here's what you don't want: a turnover with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the half. Hey, let's live for a punt too. If you don't pick it up, if there's nothing there, don't force a pass into coverage. Live to punt the football.
Jaquil Vay is in the slot for Maryland. Offensive coordinator Mike Loxley told us to be on the lookout for 34 in the white. 3rd and a bunch. Brown forced out of the pocket. He'll keep it and jog out of bounds at the Maryland 32.
And that's fine. That's exactly what we were talking about. Live to play another play. Don't try to force the issue. If nothing's there, tuck it, run, pick up as many yards as you can, punt the football away.
Smart decision, because again, West Virginia dropped 8 in coverage, nowhere to throw the football. Smart decision by Brown.
Nathan Renfro to punt. Jordan Thompson, the deep man. Thompson had a 30-yard punt return last week against Towson. Renfro averaged 47 a week ago in South Florida. This is a low liner. Thompson from his 20. Straight ahead. Thompson with a sharp-looking return. 28-13 West Virginia. Folks, located in the Stamp Student Union, the Maryland Dairy features a sizable Big Ten presence. Flavors range from, well, the Big Ten ice cream with bourbon, vanilla ice cream, and pieces of 3 historic and unique Maryland cakes, to the Rockin' Randy vanilla chocolate chip ice cream with marble swirl, Reese's, and Heath Bar pieces. Guys, you're making us hungry here.
I'm a butter pecan man. Does they have any of that over there?
I didn't hear any mint chocolate chip, but I bet we can find it.
Is that what you had last night, Chuck, for dessert?
You bet.
Just a little bit more than 2 minutes separating us from the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Mountaineers staying on the ground with Russell Shell, a pickup of 2.
The thing about this West Virginia offense is they're already in a 2-minute drill the whole game anyway, so this is nothing new to them. They're just going to work their offense as fast as they can go.
Shell, who celebrated a birthday last Friday, has a 1-yard touchdown run today, a belated birthday present. It's 2nd and 8. On the delay, Shell grappling there with his opposite number 7, and Yannick Ngakoue makes the stop. Be sure to stay tuned at the half for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Stanley Jackson, Sean Merriman, lights out. They're breaking down all the highlights. They preview the rest of the games from around the Big Ten Conference. That's coming up on the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Overcast skies, drizzle and rain throughout most of this first half. Explosive offenses on display. 28-13 for West Virginia with a timeout on the field.
I think this is a big opportunity for Maryland to make another stop. West Virginia, all they want to do is move the chains. If they can move the chains here, then let's kick it back up into gear and try to put more points on the board. I think this is a big-time situation for this Maryland defense to really try to make a stop before the half.
I've got plenty of quarterback company up here in the booth with me, Scott McBrien and Chuck Long. Scott McBrien, a lefty who performed at both of these schools, West Virginia and Maryland. There he is.
You went back to the archives, didn't you?
Oh, we were digging deep. Nice shoulder pads.
That was the option right there. I could run a little bit of the option.
Maryland likes those lefty quarterbacks.
They do.
He and Boomer Esiason, another one.
Wearing number 7.
Those are good shots of you, Scott.
Well, thank you, Chuck.
You got good pocket presence there.
I was 150 pounds soaking wet back then.
It's nice to get a compliment from a college football Hall of Famer like Chuck Long. Whistles, flags, illegal procedure before the snap.
False start. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Head coach Holgerson, back in the day at the University of Houston, he would have been a partner with the defensive coordinator for Maryland these days, Brian Stewart.
Look at the receiver on the top of the screen there moved.
Maryland rushing 3. The inside handoff won't go very far. Andre Monroe, spectacular sack master for the Terps. Short in stature, but stocky and explosive and plays like a fireball.
I think this was a great stop by the Maryland defense. Calling a timeout. Now you got 1 minute and 33 seconds left in the half to put more points on the board. They're going to hope to get a good return by Will Likely on this punt.
Nick O'Toole there in your screen, the all Big 12 punter a season ago from Corona, California. It's 28-13 for West Virginia. Weeknights, we invite you to join the conversation on BTN Live. It's the most comprehensive nightly college football discussion from the guys who love to talk about the game. BTN Live, weeknights, 6 Eastern on BTN.
This is a chance for Maryland to go into halftime with some more momentum, which is key when you go into a halftime. They'll have good field position here.
Nick O'Toole's first punt of the afternoon is a bomb. He hangs it high. Likely says fair catch. With the flex and caroms down to the field. Maryland's got it. No whistles. There's a flag down. Racing for pay dirt all the way to the end zone. Alvin Hill. Will it count? Maryland fans are overjoyed. Coach Holgerson, other ideas. Will it count? The officials are in conversation. Our referee today is Randy Crystal. Talk about an unusual turn of events. Follow the bouncing ball.
They're going to have to go deep into the rule book on this one. Have to talk this one over.
The punt was a high hanging issue. William Likely said fair catch, and then let's listen.
Kick catch interference by the defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
I think it took Randy Edsel about .0004 to decline. Guys, take a peek at this. They love it in College Park. You won't see very many punt return touchdowns that come off in this manner.
One of the wild, wacky plays of college football so far this year. Here's the collision. Can't do that. What a heads-up play. Everybody.
The reserve linebacker, Al-Rashid Benton, 17 in the blue, was the man who interfered with Likely. Ugh. And then out of nowhere, Alvin Hill says, I'll take it.
Well, hey, Alvin Hill makes up for giving up that long touchdown pass. Heads up play, seeing the football and doing what he can with it. Sees wide open space and takes it back for a touchdown.
And usually when there's a collision, everybody relaxes and they think the play's over. But Maryland didn't think it was over. It was a heads up play. He saw West Virginia thought it was over. That allowed the touchdown.
Officiating crew continues to talk things over as we share time with Frank Hanrahan on the field.
Yeah, I think there's some discussion from Coach Holgorsen. He wants an explanation as to why that is a touchdown. And meantime, Randy Edsall saying that's a touchdown. Simply put, in the rule books, they played on. They played through the whistle. So some discussion here between the officials and both coaching staffs. I think everybody's confused.
So when it all is said and done, Alvin Hill gets credit for the 63-yard run to pay dirt. We are awaiting the extra point try. And Coach Edsall in conversation with Randy Crystal.
A fair catch was given by the punt receiver. The ball was picked up and it advanced. However, by rule, once a fair catch is given, the ball can only go where it is recovered. It'll be from the original spot, 1st and 10.
An excellent explanation of the rule by referee Randy Crystal. It's an unpopular choice here in College Park, Maryland, but it's the right call.
Yes, it is the right call. They went deep into that rule book on that one, but they got it right. Once you make that fair catch.
Scott, you and I had Maryland against James Madison, the season opener on BTN 2 weeks ago, and William Likely was interfered with twice on fair catches. It happens again today. The Terps thought they were going to catch lightning in a bottle. The officials say otherwise.
Week one, it was a situation where they didn't want Will Likely to get a return. Here, it was a situation where a guy gets blocked into the return man.
They should mark off a penalty, is what Coach Edsall is saying right now. There was a penalty on West Virginia.
There's the wave of the arm from Likely. Fair catch signal. There's the interference at the 34. It bounds ahead to Alvin Hill, who captured it around the 38. As the officials decide where they're going to place the football, the fans at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium, most of whom are rooting for Maryland, are none too pleased with this ruling. And that's echoed on the sideline from Coach Edsall, now in his 4th season running the ship in College Park.
Looks like the referees are deciding whether he's blocked into or not. Right there to determine whether he's blocked into the fair catch or not by their own man.
Please put 1:24 on the game clock. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the 34-yard line.
The 34, where the interference with the fair catch happened.
That was a good job by Coach Edsall to tell the referee that. Hey, we need the penalty at least there. We didn't get the touchdown, but give us the penalty yardage.
Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming up. Busy day as always in the Big Ten. We'll be sending you back to our BTN studios in Chicago. Rick Pizzo, Stanley Jackson, Sean Merriman on hand for that. Big Ten teams that are idle this week: Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Northwestern. Not in action. C.J. Brown near midfield for Maryland in the dying stages of the opening half. Out of the gun. Brown steps up into the pocket. He'll keep it. C.J. Brown, whoa, clothesline there by Shaq Pettaway. Pettaway, the reserve linebacker, getting a lot more time with Wes Tonkery ailing. He drilled C.J. Brown.
It's getting testy down there.
C.J. suffered a concussion against Florida State last year, Chuck. You're always concerned when quarterbacks get hit high.
3-man rush, which allows Brown to have a running lane, which he's really good at.
That was close. It looked like he was on the ground first. It was very close.
Very close. Looks like he hit the shoulder pad, though.
CJ's a tough kid. Going down on a knee, he took a hard hit. However, Caleb Rowe, I see him warming up on the sideline.
That is a bad sign, Scott, for C.J. Brown after this rattling collision.
It looks like the shoulder pad. Oftentimes, as you know, Scott, it's not the initial hit, it's when your head hits the ground.
Right.
And that's probably what happened to him, is his head hit the ground.
Chuck, you were involved in a preseason conversation with Bill Carollo, the Big Ten officiating coordinator. He was mentioning that targeting was going to be a topic of concern, and the way he referred to it was those airbag deployed hits, not fender benders. That was an airbag deployed type hit, and C.J. Brown has had concussions in the past.
And I do believe they sometimes see the quarterback going down or starting to slide, and they don't see that as a target hit.
Coach Edsall wants an ejection. He wants the targeting call. C.J. Brown up to his own feet. The head athletic trainer for Maryland is Wes Robinson.
And I'll tell you what, Chuck, I don't know about you, but anytime you get hit as a quarterback and your helmet comes off, that's a pretty big hit that you're taking. Not many times you get hit where your helmet flies off. Right here, exactly. You see C.J. Brown running for the first down, tries to slide and gets hit, and his helmet comes off before he hit the ground, it looked like. That's a pretty big hit by that defender.
Defender was leading with the helmet there, but he hit it right on the shoulder pad.
Caleb Rowe, the junior from South Carolina, is on to call signals late in this second quarter with Brown on the sideline. Out of the shotgun. Rowe's first pass of the day for Stephon Diggs, complete. First down yardage for Maryland late in the opening half, less than a minute to go. Chestnut with a tackle, a gain of 12.
Great job by Rowe there, because West Virginia immediately brought the blitz and played man-to-man. He threw a strike.
Rowe's numbers authored against James Madison. He's throwing again. Snaps it out wide, and a diving Diggs couldn't reel that one in.
Another blitz by West Virginia. They see a new quarterback get in there. Oftentimes defenses will say, let's blitz him every play, make him work for it.
C.J. Brown motoring his way along the sideline. Looks to have all of his faculties about him. He'll be checked at the half for sure. 2nd and 10. Rowe changing the point of attack to the far pylon. Jump ball there. Touchdown! Jaquil Vay from Caleb Rowe, and Maryland gets the touchdown anyway.
Caleb Rowe, they really don't miss a beat with him at the quarterback position. Jaquil Vay doing a great job. They moved him from tailback to receiver. He wants to keep this football. That's his first touchdown catch of his career. Great job of going up and getting it and making a play.
Craddock with the extra point. Vay gets congratulations on the sideline, and he's posing with that football. So after Maryland was denied the special teams touchdown, Vay and Rowe combined to get it on offense.
Just a simple fade, throw the outside, and I thought that Rowe underthrew it and threw it too flat. But Vay made a great play, just out-muscled the corner there.
How tough is it for a linebacker to stay in coverage here? That's K.J. Dillon, 9 in the blue.
Well, they like Dillon all over the field. I was just about to mention that. They're most versatile player, but that is hard. You're not used to coverage outside as a linebacker at all. That's a lot of confidence in Dillon, but he's just not used to playing out there and playing the ball from that angle.
They are jumping for joy in College Park.
I was going to say, that wasn't necessarily bad coverage either. They like K.J. Dillon out there in the flat, covering a receiver downfield. I think it was just a better play by Jaquil Vay. He wanted the football more, going up and snagging that ball out of the air. Great throw and great catch.
Consecutive touchdowns now for Maryland, wearing those star-spangled spectacular uniforms. Under Armour, of course, the apparel giant, plays such a vital role in outfitting the Terps year after year. 28-20 as this kickoff goes end over end. No return possibility for the speed merchant Mario Alford.
And we have a fun game shaping up, don't we, Scott?
We sure do. It looked like it was getting out of hand quick. Maryland's done a nice job coming back and making this a ball game again before the half.
Caleb Rowe in relief of C.J. Brown, authoring that last touchdown drive. Clint Trickett back out there for West Virginia. Trickett, 9 in the blue, has been sensational in this first half, which has 40 seconds left in it.
Prevent defense, a lot of 3-man rush, 8-man drop right now.
Trickett drops it off to Russell Shell. This is a play that you liked that they used against Alabama, as Shell skips out of bounds. There's a late flag that comes in.
Illegal block in the back, number 65 off a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tyler Orlowski, the center for West Virginia, who lost his starting job in this game last season, was flagged there as the Terps continue to have a happy time over on the sideline. That's C.J. Brown with his helmet back on. Good news. The quarterback who was rattled a few moments ago. 31 seconds to play in the half. Trickett on the screen. That's short hops Wendell Smallwood. It's incomplete. Incomplete.
If you're West Virginia right now, you want to get the clock run out going to halftime. Maryland has all the momentum right now. Just go regroup at halftime. You had the lead. You always want to go into halftime with a lead.
And the Terps will have the ball to start the second half. 27 seconds left in this frame. Russell Shell, spectacular high school numbers in his hometown, back in the Pittsburgh area. Pickup of 4. Caleb Rowe and the Terps feeling much better about themselves at the moment. West Virginia's largest lead on the day was 28-6.
The clock stopped there for a minute.
Randy Edsall marching out onto the field again, wondering what's going on.
I believe Maryland calls the timeout, which is good. Hey, make him snap it one more time.
Yeah, you never know.
This timeout. Please put 21 seconds on the game clock. 21 seconds.
Referee Randy Crystal's had a lot of airtime in the last few minutes.
Sure has. It's been a long couple minutes here to end the half. Going back to that quick screen pass, it was incomplete. That's dangerous too, Chuck, because that ball goes behind the line of scrimmage and backwards. It's a fumble.
West Virginia looked like they were cruising, and then all of a sudden there was a momentum switch, a turning point.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Here's the interception right here. Maryland doing a great job being able to hold this West Virginia offense. Then they get a break. C.J. Brown takes a hit. Caleb Rowe comes into the game and throws a great pass into the back corner of the end zone. Shaquille Bay, you can't say enough about this kid, the way that he's really developed, transitioning from that tailback position to a receiver.
Just over 20 seconds with which to work in the half. West Virginia, conservatively for them, staying on the ground with Wendell Smallwood. Farron was there to make the tackle. Long-haired linebacker for Maryland. Dana Holgerson will take off the headsets, call off the dogs. We are done with the opening half from College Park. Big Ten football presented by the United States Marine Corps. Maryland in come-from-behind mode. It's 28-20. At the half. Folks, after the break, stay tuned with us. It's the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Stanley Jackson, and Sean Merriman coming up after the commercial break. West Virginia and Maryland, you know it's going to be hard-hitting and high-scoring. The Terps in comeback mode. West Virginia on the lead at the halftime break. It's 28-20. BTN football originating from College Park. We're about 8 miles away from downtown Washington, D.C. So many historic monuments, the Lincoln Memorial on display. A weekend of patriotism about 30 miles away in Baltimore, where they're having a star-spangled spectacular. Navy ships, concerts, airplane flyovers, etc. We are here at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium. Time for our Quicken Loans quarterback comparison. After 30 minutes, fellas, it breaks down like this.
Well, you have high percentage throwing with big plays. That's been the story of the game so far in the quarterback position. A lot of those big plays coming from short passes.
However, C.J. Brown might not come back in the second half. I see Caleb Rowe warming up. Let's see if C.J. decides that he can come back in or if Caleb Rowe goes into the ballgame.
That's C.J. Brown awaiting that word. Caleb Rowe came on in his stead late in the second quarter and led Maryland to its most recent touchdown, a 26-yard hookup with Jaquil Vay. West Virginia to put it back into play in the third quarter. Michael Molinari puts a boot into this one. It sails away from Stephon Diggs. It's a touchback, 1st and 10, as we visit with Frank Hanrahan, mentioning halftime adjustments for both sides.
Coach Randy Edsall told me that C.J. Brown is fine. Now we'll see what the tests come back, and maybe he'll play in the second half. But he said at the end of the first half that C.J. was fine. Weather says not a factor, sticking to the game plan, and we just got to execute, stop the big play for West Virginia. Coach Holgorsen saying, hey, we knew Maryland was going to come back on us even when we were up 28-6. We expect a tight one here in the second half. And he also said weather's not a big factor in his game plan as well.
The weather is improving, although it's still drizzling. But Frank, Randy Edsall, true to his word. C.J. Brown back in there in the gun for the Terps to start quarter number 3. And keep it around the edge. C.J. Brown's loose. C.J. Brown on the sprint. Throws the stiff arm. Touchdown. C.J. Brown, 75 yards in response.
Chuck, did I mention that C.J. Brown can get it done with his feet? I know we've talked about this all week. We were wondering how much option they were going to run, but this is why he can be so dangerous. Reads the end man on the line of scrimmage, sees Golston number 2 bite. C.J. Brown's going to pull the football and go the distance.
Craddock with the extra point. It's a 1-point game. 3 unanswered touchdowns for the Terps. C.J. Brown's all smiles and feeling good about his own game and his buddies. It's Brown all the way to the end zone on BTN.
You know, that's one that we always have circled on our calendar, you know, whether it's home, where, at a neutral site. We got the best of them last year, you know, down at M&T, down in Baltimore. But, you know, that's just a rivalry that, you know, it's going to be hard hitting. The fans are going to be into it, trash talking, and, you know, a lot of guys who are from Maryland, you know, go to West Virginia and vice versa.
Mario Alford on the return for West Virginia, ripped down to the turf by William Likely. C.J. Brown knows there are people passionate about this rivalry, and people are fired up about his last rushing bid.
Like you said, Scott, simple read option that we've been waiting for all game. He just kept his pants down and kept his feet moving. Sometimes defenders relax when they think their buddy's going to make the tackle. That's exactly what happened on West Virginia. Allowed Brown to score.
21 unanswered points for Maryland. They trail West Virginia by 1. Clint Trickett on the handoff to Russell Shell. Yannick Ngakoue quickly to pounce. A loss of 1.
Unlike with Brown and Maryland, they're not going to run too much read option with Clint Trickett. He doesn't have the legs that Brown has, so that's a pure handoff there, no read.
Out of the pistol, Trickett steps up in the pocket, fires deep for Kevin White on the jump ball. White reels it in. Kevin White, all 6'3" tall.
That should not happen on a post route with a middle safety. That's a no-no for a quarterback to throw that, but he has so much confidence in White. He just, nice job in the pocket. I don't think he saw the safety, just threw it up for grabs, and White makes the play.
Trickett had better than 300 yards in the first half, the best half of football production for him in his career. He's well on his way to surpassing his career high this season, authored against Alabama. West Virginia humming right along after Russell Shell stopped from the gain of 3.
So far, the defensive adjustment coming out of halftime for defensive coordinator Brian Stewart of Maryland is to play man coverage to disrupt the pass game, add an extra defender in the box for the run game.
Trickett stays in pistol formation. Play action. Gets out of the pocket now, and he's dragged to the earth by Darius Kilgo.
Nice job by Kilgo staying with it. That was a coverage sack. The receivers were covered down the field, which allowed the sack by Kilgo. But they're disrupting the routes right now. Oh, he had a man open. He had wide open.
They're working fast again. Trickett over the middle, connected to Shorts. Grappling there with Farron. Cole Farron chases him down. 15 more yards for Trickett.
And that's the dangerous part of loading the box. You get man-to-man coverage. Maryland's got to do a better job of covering these West Virginia receivers in man-to-man coverage. If not, they're going to get burnt quick.
Referee, Randy Crystal. Call against Maryland was declined. They had 12 men on the field, and you can count them up if you're really quick.
That's what the fast-paced offense does when you're trying to substitute. Can't get off the field in time.
On 1st and 10. Mountaineers trying to respond. Shell has a gaping hole there. Russell Shell keeping the legs moving. He's inside the Maryland 20. William Likely on the tackle. 8 more for Shell.
Well, Maryland went back to a zone coverage and deep coverage because of the passing game, and they just found a crease in the run game. There's not as many defenders in the box. That's why they found the run.
Shell again. Beautiful move. He lost the ball. He left it on the ground. Maryland recovers. Darius Kilgo at the bottom of the pile. Kilgo led a sack against West Virginia last year. 1 on this drive, and now a fumble recovery. An eruption in College Park. Maryland has the ball when you return on BTN.
The Texas Barbecue Thick Burger with smoked brisket and jalapeno straws. New at Hardee's.
No rest for the wicked on BTN. BTN football presented today by the United States Marine Corps. A wild one unfolding at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium.
This is rough snap, but here's Shell. He just too many moves sometimes the running backs do, and just take what they give you. He tried to make too many moves there.
Brian Stewart, the defensive coordinator for Maryland, was talking about the way Shell carried the football yesterday to us. Stephon Diggs looking to create as he works the sideline, steps out of bounds across the 30.
You're seeing tackling getting sloppy right now, and the reason why is the offenses are so fast. What happens is defenses wear down and tackling gets sloppy late in games. That's the whole idea behind a hurry-up offense.
West Virginia started so smartly they have sputtered since. Maryland has clawed its way back to 28-27, trailing one of its arch rivals, Maryland in the Big Ten. Dana Holgerson and these West Virginia University Mountaineers out of the Big 12. Next week, their Big 12 opener at home against Oklahoma. The Sooners the favorite in that conference. C.J. Brown managed to pick that one up and get out of bounds. Nick Kwiatkowski, one of the captains for the Mountaineers, keeping an eye on him.
As you mentioned earlier, Scott, this rain's coming down pretty hard right now. It's getting real sloppy. The ball handling's getting sloppy. The snaps from center are a little bit off right now. Don't forget they have to grip that ball as well.
Center Sal Conaboy, roommates with C.J. Brown. He says C.J.'s a neat freak. Brown sets his feet, fires over the middle, just short hopping Jaquil Vay. That's incomplete.
One thing that Brown's having trouble with all day is throwing that deep dig route over the middle. He's overstriding. What's happening is he's overstriding and he's not getting into his throw, and there's no follow through.
And they've been working with him on footwork.
They have. It's all about footwork. It's all about your technique. You don't need to necessarily throw with your arm, Chuck. If your body's in line, if you're in the right position, the ball's going to get there. You don't have to let your arm do the work. The ball's going to be exactly where it needs to be if you keep your technique.
Maryland 50% on third down conversions. 3rd and long here. Brown steps up, and he's collared, ripped down to the ground by Brandon Golson. Explosive off the edge.
Great play by Golson, because that was a 3-man rush by West Virginia with 5 blockers, and you're not supposed to get a sack on those. He just stayed with it, and good coverage down the field, which allowed Golson to make that sack. That's usually when Brown gets out of there and escapes for a nice gain. They got him that time.
Nathan Renfro to punt. Had a 64-yard boot last week at South Florida. Jordan Thompson waits for this one. Staring through the raindrops. A low liner. Very returnable. Thompson jitterbugs to midfield and then gets swarmed under. West Virginia gets the football back on top by 1. Coming up this evening, rivals will be meeting Big Ten opponents for the first time. Christian Hackenberg leads Penn State into a primetime showdown with Gary Nova and Rutgers. It all begins with a special live pregame show from the stadium tonight at 6:30 Eastern on BTN and BTN to go. Dave Rebson, Jerry DiNardo, Howard Griffith on site. Back in the studios in Chicago today, Rick Pizzo, Stanley Jackson, and Sean Merriman as an injured Terp gets tended to. Jalen Brooks, the reserve linebacker.
And I know Sean Merriman will be watching that Penn State-Rutgers game. Some old coaches of ours, James Franklin at Penn State, going against our old head coach, Ralph Regent at Rutgers, who's also doing a great job. We'll both be tuned into that game.
Brooks in the lineup today with L.A. Gorey and Yannick Cujo-Virgil out. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the pileup and the after effects, leaving Jalen Brooks, who redshirted last season, ailing. Clint Trickett back at the helm for West Virginia. The guys in the studio weren't sure if it was Clint Trickett or Clint Eastwood in the first half. Here comes Kevin White explosively into Maryland territory. First down, West Virginia.
Well, that's one adjustment that the Maryland defense has not made.
Not made yet.
With that slip screen, that wide receiver screen to the outside, it has been deadly all day for West Virginia.
Trickett stays in the pistol. On play action. Scrambles away, and ushering him out of bounds, Keith Bowers. Bowers, one of the captains today, wearing the red belts for that star-spangled uniform.
Scott, what I love about this game is smart quarterback play on both sides, and that was another smart play by Trickett. Really good quarterback decisions today.
Andrew Bowie is in the backfield with Trickett in the pistol, and this is Bowie. Off right tackle, cutting it back inside. Finished off again by Bowers.
Approaching the red zone here by West Virginia, and talking to Dana Holgerson, they wanted to run the ball better when they get close to the red zone. We saw it there.
Big crowd today, Chuck, enjoying the festivities here at Capital One Field at Burge Stadium. Shotgun set for Trickett. Handoff to Bowie. Taken down by the laces there. Of gain of 5.
You're wondering why they're in 2 backs, and you're wondering why Maryland's not playing the run. The reason why is they've had some heavy play action off of that, and they got beat in the first half with that. So they're not loading the box against the 2 backs of West Virginia. They're worried about that big play pass, that play action pass.
It's Avery Thompson, 37 in the white, who is hurting. The reserve linebacker who recovered the block punt and scored the touchdown last week against South Florida. A key play in Maryland's win against the Bulls, who is still on the turf and in need of repair.
Just got landed on there.
Avery Thompson being checked upon. West Virginia driving deeper into Maryland territory. There's Randy Edsall, who will work against his alma mater next week. They're at Syracuse next weekend. They lost to the Orange here last year 20-3 as Thompson makes his way to the sideline.
That's a big game going into next week. Syracuse came in here and beat Maryland. Maryland didn't play their best game, and that was a game that they felt they should have won last year. And I know they're going to be looking forward to going up to Syracuse next week and paying them back.
Clint Trickett already with a career best for a single game, and we've got 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Play action. Pumps and fires. deflected away. They were looking for Wendell Smallwood. Jalen Brooks, who was nicked a moment ago, gets back in time.
You're seeing tighter coverage by the Maryland defenders right now, Scott. They're starting to get a feel for the passing game of West Virginia.
Star-spangled uniforms for the Terps. All with the word triumph in the nameplate. Bowie has room. Andrew Bowie lassoed there on the corner. Hard-charging Anthony Nixon, a second-year starter, along with Jeremiah Johnson, who missed most of last year due to a toe injury.
Great call by Dana Holgerson. They were in soft coverage, too deep coverage, which allows for a good run game. Not enough defenders in there to defend it.
1st and 10, staying on the ground. Bowie knifing through. Tripped up there by a diving Nixon.
I tell you what, look at the offensive line of this West Virginia football team. They're big, they're strong, they're athletic. Quentin Spain with a pancake block right there, basketball player.
Averaged 7 yards last week per carry. He had 7 there, not going that far this time. Zach Dansell jumping in from the secondary to put a stop to him as we near the midway mark of the 3rd quarter. Maryland faithful in the stands rising, hoping their defense will stiffen now. Trickett, quick look outside for Mario Alford, who has 2 TDs today. And he was bumped off the sideline, shy of the 1st down.
There's your run-pass option, Joe. Trickett didn't like the run look to the front side, the other side, because there's a blitz look, so he threw it out to the left side off the run-pass option.
I appreciate your coaching me on that one yesterday. We spent time going through the film together, and West Virginia was very partial to that. As we've got the timeout called by Maryland, and Randy Edsall went a long way to make sure it would be called.
Coach Edsall, he's a former quarterback, former athlete. Look at him run the 40-yard dash here and call the timeout and finish the drill, most importantly.
Finish the drill right through the end zone.
28-27 West Virginia. Weekdays, our national college football experts discuss the weekend's biggest stories and the impact they'll have on the national championship picture. Big Ten football and beyond. Weekdays at noon and again at 7 Eastern on BTN. Chock full of football action for you today on BTN. We're enjoying this clash between Big 12 and Big 10 rivals. Michigan and Miami of Ohio coming up. Penn State and Rutgers before the evening is through from High Point Solution Stadium, the Big Ten opener for those 2 teams. 4th down again, and West Virginia going for it deep in Maryland territory. They are 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. There's that triple I. Trickett rolls, keeps, and gets stuffed. Rejected there by Andre Monroe.
I did not like that they went for it or the play call.
All the life now coursing through the Terrapins, offensively and defensively, with one of their leaders, Monroe, making the big stop to the cheers of the faithful.
BTN Live, weeknights at 6 Eastern on BTN.
Terps defense getting back into the classroom. It's 28-27 West Virginia. C.J. Brown had today's John Deere Gator game-changing performance. Drops this one off for Albert Reed. Reed collected there on the outside. Nick Kwiatkowski has made a ton of tackles today. C.J., the 6th-year senior. Offensive totals continue to climb. Big days throwing and running the football. After the 2-yard pickup, it's 2nd and 8 here. Midway mark of the 3rd quarter. Brown to throw. Keeps it himself. Looking and searching for a hole. Chuck, you didn't care for the 4th down call by West Virginia. What upset you about it?
Because Maryland has all the momentum right now, and you want to stop momentum. They should have kicked the 3 points and gone up by 4. That may come back to haunt them. Stop that Maryland momentum. How do you do that? Get the points. I didn't like the call either because it put the ball in the quarterback's hands instead of the running back's hands on short yardage.
3rd and 5 now. Brown sets and fires too tall, looking for Dion Long. It's a thriller here as we send you back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago. A T-Mobile studio update.
Well, Joe, nothing easy for Indiana on the road at Bowling Green. Hoosiers down by 5 until Tevin Coleman rips off this 28-yard touchdown. Indiana jumps back in front. Hoosiers 21-19.
Just the second ever meeting between those teams, Rick. Indiana 42-10 victors last year, not having nearly an easy time today. On 4th down, Maryland will punt. Renfro to hit it, it's blocked! Into the end zone, it squirts towards the back line and out. Safety. West Virginia faithful love it. Renfro had that one rejected out of the back of the end zone, and the pride of West Virginia is up in arms.
Nice block call. Little twist up front. He does a nice job keeping that arm out low to block the kick. Harper, instead of putting the arm up high, he kept it out low. Well coached. Too many guys come up there with their hands too high. Just a little twist stunt. Harper was around the horn with nobody to block him, and he kept his arm out, his block hand low instead of high.
Jared Harper, who had a sack last week in the home opener for West Virginia against Towson, has come on very strong in the eyes of defensive coordinator Tony Gibson. His block turns out and leads to a safety, giving West Virginia now a 3-point cushion. Fans have been standing in the rain for most of the day.
Those are tough on special teams coaches because you never know what kind of block is going to come at you from week to week. You can watch them all on tape, but there's always a new wrinkle or a new twist. West Virginia obviously saw something on the punt protection team of Maryland and took advantage of it.
The Terps had not allowed a safety since November of 2008. Got to go way back to an old ACC rivalry with North Carolina. Free kick here. Craddock off the tee. Mountaineers are going to get great field possession. Just how good? That's up to Mario Alford as he is taken down at the 44. 30-27 for the Mountaineers. West Virginia ball when you return. Whole lot of scoring today. Sweet music for both of these teams and offenses. Russell Shell gets loose. Shell powers his way into the arms of Anthony Nixon into Maryland territory after a gain of 8.
You see Shell squeezing the ball at the end of that run. You don't want to make that same mistake twice, but they are finding the crease in that soft zone defense of Maryland right now with the run game.
Fans do love their sports, don't they? Shell lowering his head. Roman Braglio, the former McDonough High School standout, waiting for Russell Shell, who ran for better than 9,000 yards and scored 110 TDs at Hopewell High. That's crazy. Transfer from the University of Pittsburgh. There was some thought he might wind up at UCLA. Trickett to Kevin White. Cream there on the corner. Stepping up quickly, Alvin Hill.
This is what Trickett does so well, catching the ball and delivering on time, getting the ball out of his hand quick before the Maryland defender can come up and make a play. Kevin White has been so solid today.
3rd down and 2. Out of the gun. Shell leans forward. Spencer Myers is in off the bench. Myers, the All-America wrestler, All-ACC wrestler for the Terps, who are now in Big Ten country.
Here they go fast again.
Clint Trickett orchestrating at the quarterback spot on a career best passing yard day. Going long. Airs this one out. Juggled and incomplete. Likely and Alford were fencing with one another.
Great play by Likely of staying outside of the receiver on the fade route. He wanted to create the leverage, not let the receiver create it. Nice job of staying outside the receiver. You have a better play on the ball that way. Good job by Likely.
As this day has gone along, more and more players have needed to be tended to by the athletic training staffs. Maryland, West Virginia is always a physical affair. There's William Likely, the corner for the Terps, and that's someone the coaching staff just loves, don't they, Frank?
He's on his team. Randy Edsel saying he loves the play of William Likely. He is only 5'8" in the program, but they say if they had 100 of him, that his team would be undefeated. They love him that much, so it's much of a credit to him and his character. Yeah, he's undersized, but guys, he plays big.
He comes from the muck, as they refer to it, in South Central Florida. He grew up chasing rabbits in the sugarcane fields, and he would catch, according to what he said, 5 a day. You got to be quick.
That's hard to believe. Have you seen a rabbit run? I walk my
I've
dog
seen
at
Likely
night.
run. I've seen Likely run.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe that he catches those rabbits. This is a kid that they really love. He's the kind of guy that you want the ball in his hands. You want him on the field at all times. He's able to go up and make plays. He makes guys miss in space. And right there, just a great job of not trying to go up and intercept the ball, Chuck, but being a defender and slapping the ball away.
He's a playmaker. He plays big. And you like those guys that don't have the height like some others, but plays big. And
that's the second time in the third quarter, fellas, we've seen Avery Thompson come off and in need of repair. This West Virginia squad looked bulletproof in the first 5 possessions. They put on 4 touchdowns. Since then, they've been running dry. Their most recent score for Coach Holgerson, a safety after a blocked punt. Jared Harper doing the honors, blocking a Renfro punt out of the back of the end zone. 2nd and 10. Trickett to throw. Lobs this one for White, who was interfered with all the way to the goal line. The flag on Alvin Hill.
That'll be an easy call. Defensive coordinator Brian Stewart of Maryland's trying to mix in.
Pass interference. Defense number 27. Be a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Trying to play zone off of a man look. He's not just going zone or man. He's trying to mix it or change it in mid-stride. It still didn't work. Trying to throw the fade routes. That's what they like to do at West Virginia.
Russell Shell. Snapped down by Quentin Jefferson, nicknamed Q by his teammates. A second-year starter from the Pittsburgh area. 3 more for Shell.
Well, again, this is a big opportunity for this Maryland defense to make another stop down here inside the red zone.
Shotgun for Trickett. Into the flat to Russell Shell. Shell can make people miss. He was undercut there by Jeremiah Johnson.
You see the experience of Clint Trickett, the coach's kid, knows the game. They're covered down the field. He just dumps it off to his outlet receivers. Number 3 receiver in the progression. And Shell's not a bad number 3, let me tell you.
Clint, son of Rick and Tara. Rick is currently the O-line coach at Florida State. Trickett over the middle. He's got his man, Da'Keil Shorts. Touchdown, West Virginia.
That was all Clint Trickett in his eyes. He looked off the defenders, and they all scattered out of the middle because he was looking to his right, which allowed an easy reception over the middle with nobody there. Watch his eyes here. Looks to the right, gets them all to bite, stays in the pocket with poise, delivers a strike. That's hard to do, to look to your right and shift all the way over to your left to make a touchdown strike.
Extra point try is true from the place kicker, Josh Lambert. Da'Keil Shorts, who is tied for the team lead in catches last year, has a TD grab on the end of this route.
And I think this was actually planned by Clint Trickett. Fake like you're throwing the swing route to get safety Sean Davis to bite at the running back, get him out of the middle of the field, and then throw the skinny post in behind him. Solid read and a great strike by Clint Trickett.
They call that looking off, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
It's a great weapon for a quarterback to be able to look defenders off and throw the other way.
Move the safety with your eyes. If you want him to go a certain direction, look him there and then come back the other way.
Scoring drive took about 2.5 minutes. Clint Trickett, better than 400 yards passing today. He did not play in the game last year when West Virginia was walloped by Maryland at M&T Bank Stadium.
And Coach Holgerson say the reason he didn't play was he had just gotten to Morgantown. He didn't really know the offense. He didn't know the plays. He didn't even know the signals. As much as he wanted to play, they didn't feel comfortable putting him in the game. But his preparation and his hard work throughout the offseason, he's really come a long way.
Stephon Diggs hoping to get his hands on this Molinari boot, and he will. Diggs from the goal line. Long strides. Just forced to the interior there and knocked down as we send you back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago. Another T-Mobile studio update.
Joe, it's Tevin Coleman to the rescue once again for Indiana. Second touchdown run of the day for Coleman. This one measures 46 yards. Hoosiers locked in a battle with Bowling Green. IU up by a pair.
Coleman rushed for 247 yards, Rick, in the season opener for Indiana. Thanks for keeping an eye on the other goings-on around the Big Ten. Kent State and Ohio State. Iowa State and Iowa. The Cy-Hawk series unfolds again. C.J. Brown on the quarterback keep. Brown has the corner. C.J. Brown into West Virginia territory. Carried out of bounds by Brandon Golson. Set the single-season Terp quarterback rushing record last year, and he may break it this year.
The read option, reading your keys. This is what C.J. Brown does so well. The end man on the line of scrimmage crashes, he pulls it, and he's able to find a hole and get up the sideline.
37 yards on the latest installment. And guys, I want you to weigh in when time allows. What is the read? What are you looking for there as to when to give and when to keep? 1st and 10. Play action. Brown, deep ball. There's his man, opening up Deion Long. There's a flag down. Was Long out of bounds before he came back?
That might be a push-off on Long. Might be offensive pass interference here.
Carl Joseph, the outstanding co-captain for the Mountaineers, was running in coverage.
Pass interference, offense number 6. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Good call, Chuck Long.
This is a sideline route, and you don't see it right there, but he pushed off to allow himself to make the grab. Here it is right here. You'll see it. A little bit of a push.
Kind of a weak push-off.
Kind of a weak push-off.
But still, you've got to call it. That was a simple stop-and-go route on the outside by Deion Long. Down the sideline, and Deion Long pushes off a little bit to allow the referee to throw the flag for the penalty.
They look for extended hands of the receiver.
Brown in the pistol here. First back through, nearing midfield. They gave it to Jaquil Vay. Stephon Diggs, Deion Long, both injured last year. Broken legs, right? They were racing each other around campus on crutches last year.
Broken legs. I was down on the field doing the radio last year. Down to Wake Forest. Same play, same game, both with the same injury, out for the year.
2nd down and 22 for C.J. Brown. Steps up into the pocket. Through his check down there. Brandon Ross upset by Golson, 13 yards.
Smart play on 2nd and long. They dropped 8 in coverage. West Virginia did. Brown dumped it down smartly, got some of it back. More of a manageable 3rd down.
Latter stages of the 3rd quarter. Brown on the roll. C.J. Brown throws high for Stephon Diggs, incomplete.
Maryland called a spread out pass right into the teeth of a blitz by West Virginia. It was just a defensive call at the right time. And right in the teeth of the blitz, he had nowhere to go with the football. He had to get rid of it too quick. before the routes could develop.
Nathan Renfro gets back to punt for Maryland. Jordan Thompson, the deep man for the Mountaineers, had a 30-yard return against Towson last week in a convincing and easy win for West Virginia over FCS Towson. Renfro knuckles this one, looking for some backspin, and Thompson says, "I'll fair catch it." 1st and 10 for West Virginia. Folks, coming up later today, Devin Gardner and the Wolverines welcoming Miami University to the Big House. Michigan looks to bounce back at home. Coverage starts 3:30 Eastern, presented by John Deere on BTN and BTN To Go.
You have West Virginia deep in their own territory now. This is an important series defensively for Maryland.
Clint Trickett wants the ball from center. Tyler Orlowski off the play action. Trickett over 400 yards today. He's got Mario Alford, who's loose. Alford dances near midfield. Davis and Nixon were keeping an eye. There's 33 yards on the ledger for Trickett, who's well on his way to 500.
And this is that comeback route that you were talking about, Chuck. You don't see this very much. Clint Trickett did a great job finding an open target and delivering the football.
Alford already with 2 touchdown catches today. Wendell Smallwood brings it ahead for a short gain on the ground, tackled by Spencer Myers after a pickup of 4.
Here's a result of fastball offense. You're getting sloppy tackling right now and some missed tackles because they're getting tired on defense.
Randy Edsall talked to us about that Maryland defense working against the hurry-up for conditioning purposes. Smallwood spins, twists, and turns. Myers and Davis combined to make the tackle, but not before Smallwood got 7 more.
The other thing that happens is you can't play man-to-man coverage as much because you're tired. Those defensive backs run all over, so you have to put that in occasionally, play a little bit more zone.
Skies have brightened. The rain has subsided in College Park, Maryland. Smallwood taken down around the knees there. Jermaine Carter Jr. redshirted last year with a tackle.
And West Virginia hits you with Russell Sheld, and they come back with Smallwood. It's just a great combination, and they're working them equally as well in their system today.
I wonder if Jermaine could play some basketball. His cousins are Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. That'll work.
He better be able to.
Not bad, cuz. 2nd and 4. The handoff to Elijah Wellman. Wellman, the H-back tight end, so versatile. They use him in a number of different capacities. People around Morgantown are starting to use the words and the name Owen Schmidt in regard to him. Dana Holgerson's squad through 3 quarters has the lead by 10 points. The final 15 from College Park coming up on BTN. You've got to love those 2 QBs.
They're not bad.
Hackenberg and Nova will put on a show this evening. Wendell Smallwood was drilled. Jermaine Carter Jr. the first to put a hat on him.
That was the best run that Maryland has defended all day, just getting penetration in their line, moving the offensive line of West Virginia backwards. That's how you stop the run.
Here they come again on 4th and 1. West Virginia will go for it. They move the pile. It's close. It's close. The Mountaineers needed to get across the 35 for 1st down.
This is going to be the spot of the game right here. It depends on where that referee spots the ball. It doesn't look like they got it. Coach Randy Edsall signaling that they did not get it. Maryland takes over on downs. Sure enough.
There's the thunderous ovation from the crowd to support it. Better than 48,000 in attendance today.
That's 2 critical 4th downs that they stopped. Maryland has stopped defensively. They have a little juice on defense right now. Just everybody who's in the box on that. They didn't have enough blockers. And the Maryland pads were lower than the West Virginia pads. And that leverage will get you every time.
The defense will huddle up. The offense goes back to work. The last score in this game, West Virginia's Dakeil Shorts on an 11-yard TD pass from Clint Trickett. It's 37-27 Mountaineers if you're just jumping on board with us. C.J. Brown looking to outdo Clint Trickett. Ooh, that was nearly picked off. Isaiah Bruce had his hands on that.
What they're doing defensively right now with Isaiah Bruce is they're dropping 8, and they're putting Isaiah Bruce all the way on Brown. He has Brown wherever he goes. He's a free defender in there because he is on Brown wherever he goes.
Isaiah had visions of a touchdown there. If he catches that cleanly, he could have been gone. 2nd and 10. Brown on the quarterback draw. C.J. Brown tripped up by Nick Kwiatkowski. Led the team in tackles last year, and he's definitely been the leader today. Brown gets 8 back for Maryland.
And I think offensive coordinator for Maryland, Coach Mike Loxley, saw that. They're only rushing 3. They're dropping 8. A quarterback draw is quite an answer to that defense. Since C.J. Brown can pick up yards with his feet, that's exactly what they're going to call in that situation. You're left with a 3rd and 2.
Randy Edsall on the prowl, watching his 6th-year senior C.J. Brown fight through it all the past injuries, the potential head injury today that he was able to shake off. Brandon Ross nailed in the backfield. Isaiah Bruce was shot out of a cannon.
Just an ISO play. They really haven't run this all game. I don't like when you run plays and they haven't done it all game long. You're not in the rhythm of that play. Good idea to punt here. I do believe they were going to go for it on 4th down if they had a shorter 4th down yardage, but they took the loss. Now they forced the punt.
This is 4th and 4. Renfro will boot it away. Jordan Thompson lost it. It's free. Jaquil Vay looking for it. Vay at the bottom of the pile. It's Maryland football. Second huge play on the day for Jaquil Vay.
Special teams mistakes. You may not do as well offensively or defensively, but you should never lose or be unsound in special teams play. Concentrate on the football all the way. He wasn't back far enough to catch it in front of him.
That's Chuck Long standing side by side with Scott McBride. I'm Joe Beninati. Frank Hanrahan, field level for you. Big Ten football presented by the United States Marine Corps from College Park, Maryland, where the Terps are in business in the tight red zone with C.J. Brown in the gun. Brown going to keep this one into the waiting arms of Golson, who gets plenty of help from the boys in blue.
This is the situation. You're down here near the goal line. You obviously want a touchdown, but don't do anything stupid. Don't turn the football over. At least come out of here with 3 points. However, they're looking to get the ball in the end zone.
Anxious moments for Coach Holgerson, who talks it over with Clint Trickett. C.J. Brown ready.
All-man coverage. Everybody up in there tight.
They'll run it and not go far with it. Kwiatkowski sniffed that out and dropped Brandon Ross.
Here's the backside of a... You have this run going to the right of the screen, and you have a backside. You have to cut off the backside. The left tackle did not see. He's got to keep his eyes up and cut that backside backer A-gap penetration there.
Lost yardage as a result. 3rd and goal for the Terps. 3 wideouts in the pattern. Diggs in motion through the formation. They bluff the sweep. Machuku got in there and forced to C.J. Brown right to Isaiah Bruce. Wachuku, 97 in the blue, blew it up. And Bruce said thanks.
Just some trickery here, which is not a bad call. Get your quarterback out in front, but West Virginia was not fooled. But as you said, Scott, get your points here.
30-yard attempt for Brad Craddock from Australia. Deadly accurate and good again for his 3rd field goal on the day. Maryland inching closer. More in the fourth quarter to the applause at College Park. Plenty of conversation going on both sidelines. 37-30 for West Virginia. Chuck, refresh our minds about the top of the telecast and the keys for Maryland.
Well, Maryland has had better ball security from last week. 6 last week, only 1 today. However, they're not getting anything off the West Virginia turnovers. And Trickett, they have not been able to pressure Trickett at all. He's up above 400 already.
Smallwood and Alford waiting for the kick. It's Alford from the 1. Mario Alford electrifying today. Jukes out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. And Scott, from a key perspective, how have they fared this afternoon?
Well, I think we talked about it before the game. Mario Alford, he's the guy that they wanted to get the ball. They wanted him to have a huge day. And look at his stats. 7 receptions, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I would say they're getting him the ball early, and they're getting him the ball often. And then Maryland trying to stop the option. Brown, 16 rushes, 154 yards, and a touchdown.
Just an enormous day for both quarterbacks stat-wise. Trickett rolling into the pressure, gets away from Ngakwe and completes the pass there as the ball's wrestled loose. The ball carrier was down. Russell Shell is not feeling too comfortable right now while he's on the turf, rolling around a bit.
Trying to move the pocket with a little rollout screen pass that was successful against Alabama. Of course, Maryland saw it on film too. They've tried that play twice and it hadn't worked. I'd throw that one away.
Russell Shell jogging to the sideline. He doesn't feel that comfortable right now. The daddy to 2-year-old twin girls is Russell Shell, who are back in the hometown area of Hopewell, Pennsylvania. Dreamus Smith has come in off of Dana Holgerson's bench. 2nd down and 13.
Maryland showing blitz off the edge. Man coverage.
Trickett from the gun. Short drop, dangerous pass, batted down by Sean Davis.
I think Trickett's going to wish he had that one back. It looked like he had Kevin White streaking down the sideline. Instead, Sean Davis gets greedy, tries to make a play. If Trickett holds that ball for one more split second, he might have Kevin White down the sideline.
Trickett, 3rd in the bunch. Gets out of the pocket. Pass was low. It's incomplete. Looking for Alford. Zach Dansell was running stride for stride with him. West Virginia's going to have to punt it away.
Good mix of coverage by defensive coordinator Brian Stewart. He went from man, blitz look, to zone, and it confused Clint Trickett. The only time they confused him all day. Nice job in coverage. Good defensive series for Maryland.
Now the Maryland supporters, Chuck, will be hoping that William Likely can break one here. A low boot, but a driving one. Likely from his 31. Makes the first man miss. William Likely is free. Likely, 1 man to beat. He is going, gone. William Likely, touchdown Maryland. 69 yards.
Coach Randy Edsall said if you had 11 Will Likely's on the field at one time, you'd have a pretty darn good football team. Right here, no chance for a fair catch. Will Likely loves his chances in returning this for a touchdown, and that's exactly what he did. Able to split the defense and take it to the distance.
Craddock's extra point ties it. William Likely has done it again. The little man with a big game, especially on special teams. Taken through Baltimore's famed Inner Harbor, about 30 miles away, as we celebrate the 200th anniversary of our national anthem today. West Virginia and Maryland 37-37. The Terps wearing special uniforms to commemorate the anniversary. The Star-Spangled Spectacular Whites. The word triumph on the nameplate. Triumph and conquer we must, which was on their warm-up shirts. those were in the original poem from Francis Scott Key, but not in the final lyrics of the anthem. It's 37-all, and Chuck, when you kick it down the middle, you say there could be some issues.
Yeah, you never want to punt it right down the middle. You want to put that punt outside the numbers. Whenever you punt it right down the middle, the usual result is a big return, in this case a touchdown. Kick the ball outside the numbers. O'Toole did not do that. They paid for it.
This game with 74 points on the board now, the most in this border battle in some 8 seasons worth. 9:40 to go in what promises to be an exciting finish on BTN. Andrew Bowie in the backfield with Clint Trickett, who's approaching 500 yards through the air. Bowie stopped by Kilgo. Back to our BTN studios in Chicago, a T-Mobile studio update.
Joe, back and forth we go at Bowling Green. Tevin Coleman's third touchdown run of the second half covers 31 yards. Hoosiers up 35-32. Indiana has just taken over on downs.
Pretty good finishes in a number of areas around the Big Ten, Rick. Trickett throws. That was almost picked off. Yannick Ngakoue almost had a gift.
There's a good mix of coverage now by defensive coordinator Brian Stewart. He has a little feel for the game right now, what Trickett's trying to do, and mixing his coverages up very well from one coverage to the next on each down.
Ngakoue had an interception last year against Old Dominion. Should have had that one. It's 3rd and 9. Trickett hammered in the pocket, and down he goes. Quentin Jefferson doing the honors.
Well, Spencer Myers, the ex-wrestler, putting pressure on Trickett to play before. And then big number 99, Quentin Jefferson, shooting through the gap, beating his man, putting pressure on Trickett and taking him down for the sack. This is the kind of pressure that this Maryland defense needed to have all game long, and they're starting to step up.
Nick O'Toole to punt again, likely waiting. This punt is short. Likely feels it on the bounce. And fair catches at the 45, a 39-yard kick for O'Toole. After the game, the State Farm postgame show brings you all the highlights from this contest and around the entire Big Ten. The State Farm postgame show immediately following the game on BTN. Dana Holgerson's squad had a 28-6 lead in the second quarter. It has evaporated. Maryland, with some brilliance from C.J. Brown, the entire offensive cast, some big plays on special teams, and now we are 37-all, and this turns out to be an 8.5-minute ball game. West Virginia has won 7 of the last 8 meetings straight up. Brown, better than 150 yards on the ground. K.J. Dillon there was ready to absorb him. Dillon makes us go, in the words of Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia.
Trickett and company on offense for West Virginia, they're so dangerous. What Maryland would like to do and needs to do right now is obviously needs to score, but try to use some clock at the same time.
Chuck, watch out for Marcus Leak here. Brown brings it to Leak, as he is hammered by Kwiatkowski.
Joe, do you have a game plan over there? Is that what you got?
I got somebody in my ear telling me that's from the Maryland coaching staff.
Well, Marcus Leak, we haven't seen a whole lot of him today, but he's one of the strongest guys on the team. Benches over 400 pounds. They really like the way that he's filled in and added to this receiver corps.
I won't be challenging him to any curl competitions.
You and me both.
Some serious arms there. 3rd down and 7. C.J. Brown orchestrating at the line of scrimmages. He's in the shotgun.
Blitz.
Brown gets away and just throws it away wisely as Kwiatkowski was in his face.
Good call by defensive coordinator Tony Gibson of West Virginia, bringing all-out blitz on 3rd and long.
However, when you're in that situation, Chuck, I don't know about you, but whenever you see an all-out blitz as a quarterback, you love that, because what you check is you got man-to-man routes. Let's go deep and allow our receiver to go out and make a play on man-to-man coverage.
Or run speed option off the edge, which is really a strength of Maryland's. Really a good play against an all-out blitz as well.
Jordan Thompson back for West Virginia, trying to answer the punt return touchdown of William Likely. Jordan watches this one bound towards the end zone and through. It's a touchback. 37-37. You don't want to move now. It's BTN football presented by the United States Marine Corps. Hey, Rick, thanks for the update. We're kind of a little busy here as we get set for the conclusion of this fourth quarter and looking forward to Miami and Michigan. Brady Hoke 10-0 at home in September as the head coach of the Wolverines. That game to follow this one. Whenever we're through, we're 37 all with 7 and change to go in the fourth quarter. Clint Trickett on a monster day for West Virginia. He'll keep it, tuck it down, and snake his way, sliding into Jermaine Carter. 7 yards for Trickett on the rush.
Just a little quarterback read with Trickett. It's not a staple in their offense, but just keeping the defense honest.
Trickett doesn't normally run the ball off of the read option. They've built in a package where he can throw the ball off the read option, but right there they prove us otherwise.
Trickett to throw, out into the flat. Bowie, as that was caromed out of his hands, bounding out of bounds. Andrew Bowie took a hard hit there, and he's slow to get back to his feet.
This Maryland defense was so impressive to me on film, the way they tackle and rally to the ball, especially in the open field.
The incompletion, Trickett on third down. Hums one right on target for Kevin White. White should be able to move the chains there. First down yardage for West Virginia. Time at 6:47 in the fourth.
Most of the passing game for West Virginia, when you study them, is to the outside the hashes.
Staying on the ground, ragging time now. Dreamus Smith, the transfer from Butler Community College. Better than 48,000 plus in attendance at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium. Nail-biting time in this one, 37 all. Trickett from the gun, launches it downfield. There's a flag as the catch was made by Kevin White. Mr. Acrobatic does it again.
There's your fade throw, Scott. It's been so dangerous for West Virginia today. Excellent job of Trickett keeping it to the outside shoulder so White can make the grab.
35 yards on the completion.
Pass interference, defense number 27. Declined, first down.
This nice job of concentration all the way to the ball. White is strong.
I'll say. Dreamus Smith with the fresh legs. Tracked down there by Jermaine Carter Jr. We can revisit the work on the sideline.
Trickett puts it in the right spot. Our ball or nobody's ball. It's how you coach the quarterback. Put it right on the sideline. That's a hard for the corner to make a play on that.
And White just managed to get a foot inbounds there. Second down, let's call it 8. Dreamus Smith into the teeth of that Maryland defense. He's moving the pile. Wrestling there around the Maryland 27. Give him 5 more. Bowers, fast and quick. The guy who plays with a high motor, 91 in the white. Signals coming in from the sideline for Coach Holgerson.
Strategy here is 5 minutes left. Try to eat some clock. You should have 3 points already.
Offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, a relationship with Dana for almost 20 years. Wendell Smallwood throws a stiff arm at Dixon, who straightened him up and got plenty of help. Anthony Nixon doesn't make mistakes. You won't notice him. Carter unpiling as well, 23 for the Terps. West Virginia on an extended drive, and they're going to bring their field goal kicker in now. They've gone for it so many times on fourth down situations today. Josh Lambert is on to try this one from 43. DePalma will snap it. Molinari will hold it. Trying to give West Virginia the lead in the fourth. Blocked! West Virginia had it blocked. Maryland special teams do it again.
Well, when you go for it on so many fourth downs, you're not used to going out there and kicking a field goal. And look what happens. Obviously a protection breakdown. Could have been a low kick by Lambert, not getting the ball up high enough. Great penetration. There it is. Great penetration by Maryland right there.
And I'll tell you what, special teams coach Andre Powell has done such a great job with this Maryland special teams. Couple big plays in the last few weeks, and they've had few big plays today, which have been momentum changes in the game.
It's all been special teams in this second half.
Kilgo, the man in the middle, got a hand up. Last week it was a block punt that turned out to be an Avery Thompson touchdown that helped Maryland to victory. C.J. Brown going for the throat now, trying to get the lead back for the Terps. They haven't had it all day, in fact. Brown scampers away from the pressure. Fires into trouble. Deflected away from Stephon Diggs. Woo. West Virginia salivating there. That could have been a pick.
Careful. As a quarterback, you teach a quarterback, Scott. I know you were taught this. Be careful about throwing it back inside late on a scramble.
Darryl Worley, who had the assignment with Amari Cooper in Alabama in the opener for West Virginia, he's down. Chestnut, 16, lying on his back. A pair of Mountaineers in the secondary in need of repair.
Well, Brown threw that, forced that ball into coverage, and there's so many guys in there. They're all running into each other. Just a dangerous throw.
Yeah, that's a play that CJ needs to avoid. Coach Loxley never wants you to throw the ball over the middle and late.
Last week, Brown threw 2 interceptions in the second half. Maryland only had 2 second-half interceptions all of last season. They had 2 in the game last week. Chestnut and Worley under their own power heading to the sideline.
Those are 2 big-time cornerbacks for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Chestnut and Worley have done a great job for them so far this year and have had a pretty big game today. That's one thing they don't want to see, is those guys going out with an injury.
Let's see if they throw the ball here and take advantage of the new DBs into the game.
Terrific day for the offenses. Over 1,000 combined total yards. 37 all, 4 minutes and change to go in the fourth. On 2nd and 10. Brown on the delay. C.J. Brown very close to first down yardage. They're going to mark him about a half a yard short. Give him 9.
Those are design plays. Spread them out. Spread the defense out and run the quarterback draw. C.J. Brown is so dangerous with his feet. They almost like him, just like an extra tailback.
This is an interesting situation to come with 3:40 to go. 3rd down and short. Fullback Kenneth Goins is coming off the sideline. They'll run the I. Brandon Ross is the tailback. They give it to Goins. He gets stacked up. The West Virginia defense does the job. A brilliant effort inside. Worley finished him off, but Goins, the hard-nosed fullback, couldn't make that half a yard.
And they're going to go to the punt team right away. Trying to get some field position back.
Here's what I don't understand right here.
Just bottle it all up.
Chuck, I don't know how you perform this play, but my favorite play was a short yardage play, quarterback sneak.
I don't think they're used to it. Spread the offense out and have a lead block for your quarterback or some kind of option play, what they're good at.
Renfro hangs it high in the air. Thompson runs away from it. It takes a Maryland bounce. All the way to the West Virginia 5. 37-37. Our Duluth Trading's hardest working player of the game. We find Clint Trickett of West Virginia, who has had himself a career day.
Wow.
Career day is right.
That would be a wow.
474 yards through the air with 4 touchdowns. Again, Dana Holgerson has said that this kid has come so far from the day that he stepped into Morgantown.
The completion percentages just off the charts. I'm working with 2 quarterbacks in the booth. I'm wondering if they ever had a day that productive. He was closing in on 500 yards. Smith tackled by Carter and Sean Davis. Sun is trying to poke through the final 2.5 minutes of the 4th quarter. Joe Beninati, Scott McBrien, Chuck Long upstairs. Frank Hanrahan, field level. We shout out thanks to all the members of our technical crew on BTN. And we are winding our way to an outstanding finish between border rivals, West Virginia and Maryland.
Here's your 3rd short. Don't get in a tight set. Stay in your 2-back set or spread them out a little bit, which you're used to doing. That's exactly what West Virginia is trying to do.
3rd and short. Dreamus Smith picks up the first down yardage. Nixon and Davis, the safeties, jumping up to fit the run. They'll give Dreamus about 6 yards there. Good enough for the first down.
Might have to start spreading the formation out a little bit with 1:45 to go. Deep in your own territory. They're staying with a tight end in the game.
Multiple signals from the sideline. I get dizzy every time we go over to that shot. Dreamus Smith not going far. Time ticking.
You almost have to call a timeout if you're Maryland, which is, I believe they did.
Dana Holgerson not too pleased on the sideline. Barking into that headset. Randy Edsall, his counterpart. 37-37. 2nd and 9. Alford skips past Hill, but help comes from Sean Davis. He arrives on the scene in a hurry. 21 in white.
That helps Maryland. He got out of bounds. Should stop the clock. You have a 3rd and long here. You have a chance to get the ball back.
Maryland supporters standing, roaring, hoping the defense can get one more offensive possession in regulation time. Only 80 seconds to go. 3rd and 8. Trickett rolls. Underneath, he finds Garrison. Garrison, beautiful moves and across the 35. First down, West Virginia. Dustin Garrison, a job well done. A pickup of 13.
And that was that design rollout screenplay that West Virginia has run so well throughout the game.
Quinton Spain, Adam Pankey, the offensive lineman getting out front there. The quick hitter on the wide receiver screen again for Alford. Alex Twine makes the tackle. 3 yards, thereabouts. A loss of.
Not a huge hurry right now. It's like they're playing for an overtime deal.
Trickett scanning the defense. Over the middle. And a diving catch made by Da'Keil Shorts.
Hey, you don't need to hurry too much. The clock stops on a first down. Get up, call your play. You still have got 38 seconds, and I don't know why the clock's still running.
Josh Lambert, guys, is the place kicker for Dana Holgerson. He's a redshirt sophomore from Garland, Texas. He made 3 field goals against Alabama. He insists he can make it from 60.
60 in warm-ups is a little bit different than 60 in a game-time situation. However, he does have a strong leg, and they're very confident with how he can put the ball through the uprights.
They've had a block already.
His career long of 50. Had a chip shot last week in the bludgeoning of Towson, a 19-yard field goal.
It looked like for a while West Virginia was just trying to run the clock out with all those running plays in a 2-minute situation, and then they got the big screen, and that propelled them to go, hey, we can roll now.
Now we can go for it.
5 touchdowns and a safety today for West Virginia's 37. 3 field goals from Brad Craddock, adding up with a touchdown work. We are dead even, 37 apiece. Garrison chewing up yardage, arrives at the Maryland 40. That's 9 more yards. Monroe finished him off. West Virginia gets to the line in a hurry. Trickett wants to go. Snaps it to Mario Alford. Swarmed by Jeremiah Johnson.
Good job of clock management by West Virginia. Got the first down. First downs are many timeouts in college football.
It's incredible.
Way to look at it.
It's incredible, Chuck, how many plays they're able to run from the line of scrimmage. Both of these teams working so quickly.
They're already in a 2-minute mode. That's their offense, so it's nothing new to them for West Virginia.
4 wideouts in the pattern. All of them dangerous. 22 seconds to go in College Park, Maryland. Garrison beat the first tackler, not the second. Alex Twine gobbled him up. A pickup of 2.
Should call timeout.
Trying to get into field goal position. The last field goal was blocked. The attempt was. Alford skips out of bounds. They will mark him out at the Maryland 30.
I did not like that clock management. Had a chance to call a timeout, get another ball play. Now they're just down to 1.
A 47-yard field goal attempt is coming. Josh Lambert out of the hold of Michael Molinari. The career best 50, this from 47.
Same defensive block look by Maryland.
And now the Terps will put some icing on Lambert. The last time Lambert attempted a field goal, Maryland's defense made the big play.
Like you said, Chuck, it looks like they're trying to overload that right side of the line to try to get pressure in for another block.
Hill coming from the outside. Kilgo with a big paw in the middle. And Lambert thinks it over. It'll come down to the place kicker. In a game in which special teams has meant so much. Coach Holgerson won't need the headset for this. The dying stages of regulation time. Better than 48,000 roaring against Lambert. West Virginia looking for the road win. Snap's good. Kicks on the way. Plenty of distance. It's good. A buzzer beater for Lambert. And a win for West Virginia.
Well, they corrected their field goal protection on the sideline and blocked it up clean to allow Lambert to get the kick off. Great kick. Great finish to a fantastic football game.
Josh Lambert will be the hero among many for Dana Holgerson. He exchanges pleasantries with Randy Edsall. This kick, after a little stutter step, is just fine.
Lambert stutters here and still gets the ball off.
And still could have been good from another 10 yards.
Excellent protection.
Agonizing time for Coach Edsall and the Terps. Their brilliant comeback effort today, not enough. The blue and gold of West Virginia celebrating at the final horn. The 47-yarder makes a winner of Clint Trickett and the Mountaineers. A brilliant football game today. These two teams, heated rivals, boys. Final thoughts, quick ones, please.
Well, I'm so impressed with Clint Trickett. What a great game. Great quarterback. Good decision maker. He's got an excellent receiving core. Excellent.
I thought both teams played very well, and West Virginia ends up with the win. Great game by both teams.
For Scott, Chuck, Frank, all of our crew, Joe sending you to the studio. We join Rick, Stanley, and Sean.